your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Yes. On a Wednesday, Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports, taking you up to 2 p.m. And we are ready to rock and roll. Roster cuts for the NFL. Who made it? Who didn't? Who's bouncing around? What wide receiver was signed by the Niners today? Because there's always a random wide receiver being signed by the Niners. We have more of that information for you. We have Kings talk. Andy Bailey joins us of Bleacher Report. Andy Bailey, he sat there and he broke down the win projections. Kyle, what do you have the Kings finishing 12th, I believe, 12th in the West? So we're going to ask Andy, okay, but what's the best they can do? Enough about, is that the worst they can do? That's got to be the worst they can do, Andy. Andy of Bleacher Report, he joins us at 11 o'clock. You do not want to miss that. So let me get this straight on the Las Vegas Raiders, okay? In the last couple days, and everything was going so well, right? And it's still Geno in the dome with Brock Bowers, with Genty, maybe I don't know about Trey Tucker, but maybe Jacoby Myers, okay? Whoever they're able to keep at the wide receiver. Go get Hunter Renfrow at this point. But now all of a sudden, as the roster cuts happened and there's a difference between waived and released and some of those kind of details, the bottom line is those dudes are not going to be on the roster week one, okay? So the Raiders, that late round quarterback that they picked up, Cam Miller, they released him yesterday. They released him. So as of right now, Aiden O'Connell is their third QB. He's hurt right now. Their third QB, and their backup is Kenny Two Gloves, Kenny Pickett, with Geno as their starting quarterback. Look, I know there are a lot of Raiders, Kings fans out there. It's so funny that they are approaching this thing the same way, kind of this never. Now, look, backup QB, you're not going to go get your guy. And we're going to talk some Arch Manning today because I think that as we discuss Schroder, there are going to be some parallels. I believe Arch Manning is better than Schroder, and he's at a more traditional school to succeed. And, you know, obviously Shador's pops played in the NFL, but that's a little bit different compared to what Arch Manning got going on. So we are going to spend some time on Arch Manning a little bit today, but even deeper in the week as we get closer to college football kicking off. So, again, the Raiders, they're just stuck. It's the same type of deal where they're continuing, and I guess in their opinion, they couldn't get up high enough to get one of those quarterbacks the last couple years, right? It just had 2 years ago, they couldn't get high enough to get one of those quarterbacks, and all those quarterbacks look pretty good right now. We'll see what happens after year two. This year that just passed, they were in a position, but it seems like it was kind of a quarterback light draft when you have Spencer Rattler, who is 0-6, whatever he is, beating up Tyler Shugg for the Saints job. So the Raiders, I don't know what they're trying to do. I know what they're trying to do this season, but ultimately, I don't know what they're trying to do. And it's the same thing that we talked about, right? The Raiders are in Vegas trying to put butts in the seats, even though those butts most of the time are for the other team. But they don't want to do the thing. The same way the Kings don't want to do the thing. We got Pete Carroll, who there's no time for us to do the thing with Pete Carroll. Bless him. There's no time. He's 97 years old. We cannot do that with Pete Carroll. So instead, they got Geno. They got other quarterbacks that you've heard of, right? Some waiver. It's Geno and the waiver wire QBs. That's what it is for the Las Vegas Raiders. So they drafted Cam Miller. He must have stunk. I don't know, but they've waived him. Apparently, he played pretty well in college. He went to a smaller school, but he was a champion on that level as well.
North Dakota State.
Not good enough. And it continued. I'm telling you, North Dakota State, you know that movie Him is coming out, the new Jordan Peele movie, and a lot of people are saying that the Marlon Wayans, who's playing a former QB that very, very popular, very famous, a champion, and the QB prospect is kind of goes under his wing. A lot of people are saying, does Marlon Wayans represent the bad things in life? I don't know. I want to say devil or whatever it is. Basically, is he trying to sell his soul and all this stuff? I don't know what North Dakota State did to get a quarterback drafted every season. There's some type of handshake agreement with the NFL that one of their QBs has to get drafted every other year. We got to look it up, Kyle. We have to look it up.
I mean, I can name the last 4. I don't know who's there now, but you got...
Well, it was Cam Miller was there.
It was Cam Miller. Before that, it was Easton Stick. Remember him?
I mean, what are we talking about? Great name, but what are we talking about?
He was hanging around with the Chargers for a few years. He had one preseason game where he just went insane, like 270 yards, 3 touchdowns. But yeah, anyways, Easton Stick. Then it was Trey Lance. Then it was Carson Wentz. That just North Dakota State just churning out great college quarterbacks that NFL teams are convinced are going to be fine and are not.
But, I mean, even with Cam Miller, to your point, like you say about the projects, not even Jalen Miller because he went in the 3rd round, but when you're drafting somebody 5th round and past that, you're just seeing if you got lucky, right? Hey, we like some of the things he does. Maybe we found lightning in a bottle. More often than not, from the quarterback position, you don't. And, again, they had to meet their quota because North Dakota State did a handshake agreement with the NFL that somebody has to be drafted. And Tom Brady, as the newest owner of the Raiders, said, okay, we'll do it. It's our rotation to draft a North Dakota State QB.
Yeah, it's like everyone has to serve their time kind of situation. Everyone's got to have at least one run with a North Dakota State QB, right? The Colts did it with Carson Wentz. The Chargers are doing it right now with Trey Lance, who, hey, congratulations, he's backing up Justin Herbert.
Yeah, well, and it's basically like doing chores with your significant other, right? Some of you rotate, some of you don't. Personally, we do. If somebody cooks, the other cleans, things like that. But it's kind of understood. All right, it's my turn. I haven't done the dishes in a while or whatever it is. It was the Raiders' turn, right, to do the chores, which is drafting a North Dakota State QB.
Every NFL team has to take a turn with a North Dakota State quarterback, and every person who is associated with the NFL has to take a turn being an assistant coach for the Chargers.
There you go.
Those are just always things that have to happen.
B-ball index grades, basically every team, but there's one team we care about out here. B-ball index gives out grades on the Sacramento Kings, so we have those grades for you so we can nerd out there. We are going to essentially wake up this morning and you are Scott Perry. And this is going to be running throughout the show, right? There's a specific couple segments that we're going to spend time on it, right, in general. But the theme of today's show is you wake up this morning and you're Scott Perry. What do you do? Maybe it's nothing. Maybe it's too late. But do you call DeMar DeRozan? Find out, hey, I just lost my memory. What did we talk about going into this offseason? Because I want to know, and I've heard certain things throughout the offseason, how this whole thing went down with DeMar as far as, did he ask out of Sacramento? Did it not get to that point because he didn't want to leave? Did it not get to that point because he knew that he couldn't go where he wanted to go? What is the agreement with DeMar? And what got this rolling for me was the idea of Russell Westbrook and the questions that we asked about Russell Westbrook. Now, DeMar DeRozan is much more productive than Russell Westbrook is at this point in time, but they are flawed as it pertains to this day and age and what the game is now. They don't. Russell tries more, I would say, but they don't really defend at a high level. Neither of them shoot threes at a high level, even though DeMar can obviously shoot his mid-range shots better than Russ can. They're flawed, right? And they're the kind of the last remaining players from that John Wall type era where you're shooting mid-ranges and you were just getting to the cup aggressively, things like that. So I want to know, why didn't DeMar ask out of Sacramento? Or did he? Or did he? Got some information for you coming up in about 20 minutes. So we will get that rocking and rolling as well. So you wake up in your Scott Perry. What do you do first? Also, later in the show, I need help. Okay, I need help. I try to tell y'all when I need help when I do these fantasy leagues because, everybody, Allen, join my league. And I'm not saying it's just me. We all get those calls, but I decided I only could do one. I was going to do one with the sales people downstairs, but the draft is September 2nd, and I might be in the hospital. Not in the hospital, but at the hospital with my wife, with number 2 on the way. Her due date is September 3rd, but you never know. The point is, I'm not going to pay to be in a league where I don't know where I'm going to be the day of the draft because I'm not good enough at fantasy to auto draft and just manipulate things from there. I'm normally cooked once the buys start happening anyway. I'm normally in first, second place. Then the buys happen. I forget to set something. I end up trying to draft Renfro and he's not on the team. It's a mess. Okay, so I need your help. The only league I am in is my River Cats League with the Cat Crew. Okay, and the draft is tomorrow night. So I need y'all help. That is towards the end of the show. I need your help. Okay, you fantasy gurus out there, we're going to work on the first couple rounds for me.
Do we know what pick you have?
Yeah, I'm cursed. I got the first pick.
Oh, okay. So you are toast.
Yeah, I got the first pick, but you got to help me through it, okay? You have to help me through it. So we have that coming up as well. Like Kyle mentioned, Trey Lance is the Chargers backup QB. Couple different announcements coming out of the NFL that we will break down for you. I got a really interesting question, and I have no clue what direction I'm going to go in or what direction that you'll go in. Who will be better in 5 years? Nick Clifford or Keon Ellis? Who will be better in 5 years? That's coming up towards the beginning of the show. Who will be better in 5 years, Nick Clifford or Keon Ellis? We ain't going to make you wait for that one. Okay, Andy Bailey at 11 o'clock, as I mentioned, and we're going to ask Andy, how can the Kings be better than 12? If we want them to be, because maybe we don't, because we got to run that tankathon. And 2026 NBA draft, right? Maybe we want Andy to be right. Maybe we should be thanking Andy because you want the Kings to be 12th. Have a couple good notes, because that's the thing. You could miss the playoffs and still have a fun season. Last season just wasn't fun, right? It was something could not be fun. Can something not be fun but also be entertaining? Maybe fascinating is probably the right word, not entertaining. Last season wasn't fun, but it was fascinating. It was fascinating. The first season I was here, that season was boring. The season after Beam Team was absolutely boring. So we've had a boring season, one of the most fascinating seasons I've ever covered. Now, what does year 3 have in store?
And the year before that was the most magical season.
Exactly. So you've had it all. What is next in the rotation? What is the North Dakota State rotation for the Kings? What's coming up next?
I don't know. The North Dakota State one usually ends in disappointment.
You never know. You could just give us one Carson Wentz year. Just get one Carson Wentz year.
Wasn't even a full year. It was like 12 weeks.
Well, that's good. Then you peel off at the end and you still get your second pick. You still get the good boozer.
You still tore an ACL at the very end.
Okay. Hopefully not that. 916-339-1140. Let's talk quickly some baseball. Okay? And we discussed the A's last week because something was said as far as the A's fans only talking about bagging on the A's and bagging on the organization. Nobody's just enjoying the baseball. And we sat here and look, I told you the same way I always tell you. Go out there, enjoy the games if you want to enjoy the games. If you don't want to enjoy the games, stay home. I also said at that point they had won 16 of 24, which was pretty impressive, but they're in last place. Right now, a week later, or maybe not even a week later, after talking to Coach Eric Martins, the A's get a walk-off walk, and it looked popping at Sutter Health Park. It looked popping at Sutter Health Park yesterday, and it was a walk-off walk. Okay, and the A's have now won 20 of their last 30 games. Still in last place, 20 of their last 30 games. They've gained a lot of momentum as of yesterday going into that game. They would be the 5th seed in the MLB playoffs if they hadn't completely imploded in May, if that had happened. But I said, hey, you want people to flip a switch because they're having a good stretch after the season is cooked? Look, 20 out of 30, that's nothing to sneeze at. On the other end, you have the San Francisco Giants, who have just won 3 straight, and that might make you feel good. Unfortunately, they're still 7 games out of the wild card because the Mets won on a walk-off last night against the Phillies. So I don't know what to do with the Giants. I just don't think that there's enough time for the Giants to make the playoffs. They'd have to get ridiculously hot. So this is less about baseball specifically and more about how annoying is it. And we could even take it outside of sports. We could keep it in sports just with these examples. Once you're out of it, your team balling out, right? Is there anything more annoying in sport? I feel like the Raiders have been famous for this. And last season, they did have a top draft pick. They just didn't like any of the QBs. But this is the Raiders special, right? Once it's over and got Antonio Pierce, talk to Tom Telesco. We're here to win games. Well, brother, why didn't you win them when they mattered? It's the most annoying thing in sports because as a fan, you're happy, but I don't know what to do with that. The Giants have won 3 straight, right? They beat the Brewers, the best team in baseball. They beat the Cubs last night. Cool. They're 7 games out of the wild card with 30 games left. How are Giants fans supposed to feel about that? A's fans, they won 20 out of 30 games. I am not very good. I am I am so anxiety filled when it comes to the future that I can't enjoy stuff if it doesn't matter, right? I don't want to do anything if it doesn't matter. It doesn't have to benefit me. But if I don't feel like it matters, I am not good at Allen, they're developing and they're gaining cohesiveness for next season. I'm not good at that. Once you're cooked, I can't stand it. And then for you to be good after the fact, it's the worst. It's exactly what the Kings would do. Now, the Kings never teased us that much this past season. They were pretty much out of it. But last season, and I know Malik went down and Kevin Herter, happy birthday, he went down. But 2 seasons ago, every time they started to crawl away from the 500 bug, the 500 hornet, they'd get stung again. It's got to be one of the most annoying, confusing things in sports when your team starts to perform after they're cooked. It's got to be. Because let's be honest, as humans, you're playing looser, right? Look, when I know Kyle, you still hoop. When I would hoop and there was no weight, look, man, I'm looking like a young AI back in the day. Okay, I'm looking like a Isaiah Thomas. We both same side, both left-handed. That's how I'm looking with no weight. Okay, I show up on Saturday morning, and there's a 5-game wait. I turn into 5'8", 5'9", Draymond Green. Somebody else shoot. I just want somebody else to take me to the promised land because I get a little bit nervous. Okay, I'm gonna be honest with you. But when there's no weight on a Tuesday and I'm playing some dudes that, I don't really see that often. We barely got to 5. It should have been 4-on-4. Oh, I do my best work.
So against bad players,
I do my best work. No, but it's not necessarily about bad players. It's about there's nothing on the line. If we lose, we can just run it back because nobody's in the gym. But Saturday morning, 8 a.m., people are running to the board to sign up their name at the YMCA in Embarcadero. Allen averaging about 2.5 points, okay? I get my nice little lefty layup. Besides that, I'll grab you some rebounds. I'm going to defend whoever the smallest dude is on the other team.
I was like, rebounding.
No. I'm a good rebounding guard. Don't trip. But that's how I see. Look, the Giants they're not officially done. And I know Coach Eric Martin's mathematically the A's aren't done. But the spirit of it is the same. It's the most annoying thing in sports Okay, when your teams, and this is, like I said, beyond just the A's and the Giants, it is the most annoying thing in sports to me when you start winning and they're cooked. They're out and then they want to, and I sound like my father. Oh my goodness. Then they want to celebrate and everything's good. And Matt Chapman gets the Gatorade poured on him yesterday. He hit a huge 2-run bomb. I'm thinking, cool, man, cool. What are we gonna do with that? Where was this when the Mets were imploding? Right? Where was this when you were at home for 20 games and did absolutely nothing? Couldn't run, couldn't fall or trip into a 5-run ball game. Allergic to scoring. But now, oh man, we're kind of out of it. Okay, now we're loose. Now we can do our thing. So I know there are fans out there that are able to compartmentalize and enjoy it. I can't do it, Kyle. It just annoys me.
I mean, you can do it on an individual level too. Like how many?
Yes, I want to see Luis Matos. I want to see Drew Gilbert. I want to see my guys. That's all I care about. Matt Chapman hitting a 2. It's cool. They're not out of it. But then I go and I look at the wild card. They didn't even gain. They're 7 games back. We needed this 3 weeks ago.
Well, no, and it's also baseball where, like, you know, the old adage is every series you win one, every series you lose one. It's whatever happens in the third game that makes the difference. And the A's, who have like the 3rd best record in baseball the last 30 days, are still 20-10, which means they're winning 2 out of every 3 games in a series, right? So baseball is one of those sport where even though it's a long season, the margins are very thin. I'm kind of with you. As I've gotten older, I have less, I guess I'd call it fan width, where like I just don't have the bandwidth to really pay attention to sports all that much. So I'm like, I'm just not going to pay attention to bad teams. Like I just don't have the time and energy to.
Yeah, but you see, okay, now hold on now, because now you're going to annoy me. Now you are annoying me, Mr. Padres and Chiefs fan. Okay,
sure, but
some of us are not in that position.
Alan, do you know how long I've had to suffer to get to this point?
Who, with the Padres?
With the Padres, growing up with the Chargers, like you just, my entire childhood is filled with just despair in sports.
Kyle, you're 21 years old.
The Kings, the Padres.
You're 21 years old. And look, the only reason I will separate myself from it, and look, we're getting further and further away, but the only reason I'll separate myself is because, yes, the Giants, they did win 3 championships. So the Giants part of it, I'm just annoyed personally because it feels like, I mean, what was that? The last one was 2014. I mean, that was 10 years ago. It was 11 years ago.
The last time the Giants won a playoff series was 10 years ago.
So I understand there's some people, there's A's fans out there. There are fans of teams that haven't even gotten to experience that. But in general, if you're going to stink, then just stink. Because it's not about trying to get Bob Melvin fired. All right? Because I spoke with somebody, and basically the 1-year option that they picked up, if the Giants are going to keep Bob Melvin, it's not because of that option. It's because they think that they can win games with him. Because even if they didn't pick up the option, if they started doing this garbage and winning games after they were out of it, they could have just given him another contract.
Sure.
So the option doesn't really make a difference. I'm not saying that's why I want the Giants to lose, but it's also annoying now that, now we're going to win for Bob now. Why weren't you winning for Bob when it mattered?
Look, and to your point, like the idea of ignoring the other thing, the point is there have been so many cases where it's like development at the end of the season is important, and it just doesn't translate at all. What were we saying about the A's last year? Wow, they've won half their games the back half of the season, and then they got to this year, and it just didn't matter. So
that's right. They are what is it? Almost spoiler merchants. When they get to the spoiler role, they absolutely could.
I mean, Coach Martins talked about it a few weeks ago. It's like every year May just trips us up, but we've been good baseball teams otherwise.
No, you know what? Doesn't matter if it's the Coliseum or Sutter Health. Them lights, Jared Allen, the lights were brighter than I expected. May comes around, you're still in it, and you either figure it out or you trip up, and the A's have tripped up. And the Giants essentially did the same thing. They got Rafi Devers and forgot how to play baseball. 4 hours with you. Why didn't DeMar DeRozan ask out of Sacramento? Or did he? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Elk Grove Honda.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It is Wednesday. Stepping outside, it's comfortable. As we get into the afternoon, expect to have mostly sunny skies, light winds, and temperatures today down a little bit. Expect highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
Elk Grove Honda is proud of Honda's lineup of trucks and SUVs offering compatibility and versatility to the core. See the exciting new models at Elk Grove Honda in the Elk Grove Auto Mall, Highway 99 at Elk Grove Boulevard.
I gotta get an Elk Grove Honda.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The Hagen Oaks Cutting Edge Putter Fitting Studio offers you more technology, more choices, and more service. Hagen Oaks wants to be your go-to total golf game fitter. With $30,000 worth of state-of-the-art technology ready for your fitting, Hagen Oaks will help you make your best putting stroke while finding the best putter design, shape, hosel, length, and loft for your game. Schedule your fitting at the Hagen Oaks Player Performance Studio by calling 916-808-2531. That's 808-2531 for more.
Recovery is deeply personal and can look different for everyone. Recovery takes more than persistence and resilience. It takes support. It's normal to go at your own pace and to lean on others during your journey. Research shows that individuals with substance use conditions typically make multiple attempts at recovery before achieving long-term sobriety. And those who continue to engage in treatment and support services, even after relapses, are more likely to achieve sustained recovery. Get help navigating your recovery journey, no matter where you are. Every step you take to navigate substance use and mental health challenges can help you reach your recovery goals. Peer and online support communities can offer a sense of connection, belonging, and shared understanding. Finding community support is a powerful, proven way to help support long-term recovery. Get connected to SAMHSA resources and create a plan that works for you by visiting samhsa.gov/recoverme.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, and let me tell you about the manager-only offers they're running right now. They have low rates on new cars, certified pre-owned vehicles, and of course, their popular e-Sprinter vehicles. Take it from me, I'm driving an all-electric Mercedes-Benz SUV, and I love it. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now, or go online at mbfstockton.com, because these rates won't last long. And while you're there, tell them Drape sent you.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Yeah, I know the show's back. Look, when a legend, when a Hall of Famer walks in, like Pat, you listen to what he has to say. I'm sorry, Kyle. I know, because so curtain peeled, Kyle is in a different room, which you can see on YouTube. And if you're in the car, obviously you can't see it on the Sacktown Sports app or on the TuneIn app. So Kyle can't really see, unless they walk all the way up to me, Kyle can't see. So Kyle just thinks I'm talking to myself, which does happen from time to time. I'm rehearsing whatever, but I was talking to not just any human, the guy. And when I'm talking to the guy, you got to talk to the guy. But Kyle didn't know that.
I did not know it because I can't see. I gave you 45 seconds.
And I'm going to give it, I give Pat the time.
Pat's got to wait, you know? After about 40 seconds, as we got to go. We can't be Carmichael Dave out here, Allen.
Yeah, well, is he a legend? Can I say another legend? Is that Carmichael Dave?
Not compared to Pat.
Wow. Hey, Dave, that was not me.
Dave would agree with me.
Dave, that was not me.
Dave would agree with me.
Okay, that was not me. 916-339-1140. And I started thinking about this because of the Russell Westbrook conversation. And the conversation we had yesterday, if you were running around and happened to miss it, just why, as Russell Westbrook was shooting a basketball on his yacht, right, or somebody's yacht, why is he going through with this, right? And the idea of, hey, somebody's going to tell me I can't play. I'm not just going to stop playing on my own, right? You're going to have to pull my sneakers off. You're going to have to pull my cleats off. That's how it goes, okay? So that's kind of his stance on it. So it made me think about DeMar DeRozan being in that room, okay, at the end of the season, and just seeing the look on DeMar's face, talking about 16 years in the league, and he's really got to evaluate what's happening next. And I thought he was gone. Fast forward, if you were to ask me, Allen, is DeMar DeRozan going to be on this team August 27th? I'd say there's no way. There is absolutely no way that he's going to be on this team. And he is. So you got to ask yourself, why? Why? Did DeMar DeRozan ask out of Sacramento and it didn't work out, right? It was a soft ask. It wasn't I think I've seen this report before. He didn't, request to be out of Sacramento. They just spoke about it. Different levels of that. What was the conversation that was had with Scott Perry? Did he reevaluate and think, you know what? Go get us the same way Domantas Sabonis said, go get us a point guard. Go get us a point guard. And I got my guy, Zach LaVine. You know how we got down the last time we had a point guard. Domantas Sabonis is better than Valanciunas. And better than Vucevic, even though they are in the West, not the East. And let's see what we can do. That's what I think I'm trying to work my way through and want to see how this whole thing gets revealed. Because DeMar DeRozan isn't in a much crazier spot than Russell Westbrook. Because I think the reason it's similar is DeMar DeRozan is not going to be top 20 in shots taken and field goal attempts on his next team. And I'm not saying that that's why he wants to stay in Sacramento, but the same way Russell Westbrook might be running from the end of his career, DeMar DeRozan might be running from or trying to avoid the next stage in his career. And as soon as DeMar DeRozan leaves Sacramento, I don't think he's playing 32 minutes a night, whatever the heck he was playing for the Kings. And he is not taking enough field goals or field goal attempts for him to be, 20th? Or he was in the top 20 or top 25 for field goal attempts in the NBA last season. That ends. That ends. And maybe he doesn't want it to end. And I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that, DeMar wants to be a ball hog or whatever it is. But it's tough to see your career changing. It's tough. And it happens to all of us at different times. So if somebody wants to elongate that in a situation where, hey, we think we could actually surprise some people, who am I to say whether or not DeMar DeRozan really believes that? Maybe he does. But it's happened to all of us. It happens either in T-ball, right? Or they let everybody play in T-ball. But it happens in Little League. Nowadays, they got kids playing travel ball at 7 years old. So it can happen at 7 years old once you're not in that starting lineup, right? That first day happens for everyone. You wake up, you put your shoes on, you get ready to play, and you're not in the starting lineup. or you're in the starting lineup and you're not playing as much, or you get moved to a different position, or you get moved to a different spot in the lineup, or they want to have a conversation with you. It happens to everybody. So if you have enough control on contract, mind you, to elongate that as much as possible, why wouldn't you do that? And if you're DeMar DeRozan, these dudes are hyper competitive. He doesn't think that it's not a selfish thing, but he doesn't think that the way he plays is not conducive to winning. You might think that while you're driving around in your car or listening on YouTube or watching on YouTube, but I can guarantee you he does not believe that. So I started thinking about this, and it hit me that it wasn't incredibly different to the Russell Westbrook thing in that they're chasing different things, sure. And Westbrook, from what we know, may not necessarily be chasing or running from the end of his career, but he's definitely running from the Chris Paul thing, playing 5-10 minutes a night. And I'm sorry to the Brookies, the Westbrook fans out there. That's just what it is. That's just what it is. Okay. I think we kind of won that debate, but we're going to let you live because you're crazy Westbrook fans and I don't want you to come after me, but we kind of won that debate. DeMar DeRozan is now, I would say, avoiding or trying to run from that next stage of his career where I do think there are probably teams interested in him. Let's say the Heat. He would still be a starter on the Heat, but like I said, that offense is not, there's nowhere he could go that would have him where he is doing what he just did in Sacramento. Hell, we don't know if he's about to do the same thing in Sacramento, but he knows Doug Christie, and maybe he's more comfortable with the beginning of the change happening here. So I've been looking at this for both of these guys and trying to flip my thought process from why would they want to be in Sacramento to why wouldn't they want to be in Sacramento for whatever it is that they're trying to accomplish to end their career. Because you think the moment you say uncle, right, that starts that process. So if DeMar DeRozan is able to be a starter for another year, then he's basically pushed off another year of, hey, the bench stuff is starting. So the longer he can push it off, you could kind of, and I know guys like LeBron would just never come off the bench, but the more he can push that off and avoid that happening, the longer he feels like he can play at this level and play in the league, period. That's what I came to in my mind. And I'm not saying that's his thought process. Maybe he did ask out and there weren't enough takers and he's going to get moved at the deadline. But the reason there wasn't this, I need to go right now, is maybe it was his agent. Whoa. You know, if you go right now, you go to the Heat and you might start, but you are not playing like this. And you might not play like this on the Kings, but you're familiar here. They're the ones that gave you the contract, right? Are you ready to deal with the buyout scenario? Are you ready to enter that phase of your career? Are you ready to do that? And it's possible DeMar DeRozan said, no, not right now. Now, maybe by the trade deadline, he is, because maybe there's a taker that actually wants him, but forcing his way and kind of bogarting through it, maybe he felt as if, hey, you know what? I don't need to do that just yet. Not as long as there's a team willing to pay me $25 million to be at times the number one option. I mean, last year during the interim beam team, he was kind of the number one option as Zach LaVine was learning to integrate. Now, I think this year it's going to be all about Zach LaVine and prioritizing him as the focal point of the offense. Right.
But again, Zach and DeMar have played with each other before. They've been through this. It's a familiar territory for him, even if it's, not leading to a lot of success, at least in terms of success that DeMar wants to probably get to at this stage of his career.
I think we just forget how hyper competitive these dudes are sometimes, right? And we spoke about it yesterday as far as if Russell Westbrook was the type of guy who said, no, I'm good. I don't want to do this or I don't want to do that anymore. I've had enough. He probably wouldn't be where he is in life right now. And you could say the same thing for a lot of these guys. And DeMar DeRozan, clearly, these guys clearly think that they can compete. Now they got to go out there and prove it. But you look at them on paper and they look at themselves on paper and think, we're about to shut some people up. Will they do it? We'll have to wait and see. On the other side, this has been the one, okay? Who will be better in 5 years? Nick Clifford or Keon Ellis? I don't even know what I'm about to say, but we're going to find out. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Progressive knows if you have to choose between everyday life and your RV, RV wins.
What, are you going to take the RV to the lake or clean out your closet? RV wins! Putting the dishes away or taking the RV camping? RV wins! Cleaning the fridge or taking a trip to the beach? RV wins!
You might want to clean the fridge real quick because, mold.
We clean out the fridge, then take the RV out.
With Progressive, you can bundle your RV with your home or auto and save with a discount and spend more time enjoying those savings in your RV. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states and situations.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Allen Stiles here with your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by DTLA Law Group. Luis Severino, out with that left oblique strain, has resumed playing catch, and his expected return is late August. Grant Holman, out with that strained right middle finger, expected return is TBD, but he has started gripping drills and is building toward a throwing progression. Hopefully, he'll be back soon. That was your Sacktown Sports Injury Update, brought to you by Downtown LA Law Group. Hey, I'm Allen Stiles. Injured at work? Call downtown. DTLA Law Group, California's leading injury law firm. With over 40 lawyers throughout California, they have won over $500 million in settlements. DTLA Law Group will get you compensation for your work injury. You don't pay unless they win. That's right. You pay zero up front. Call downtown. Text injury help to 40222. That's injury help to 40222. Visit them at calldowntown.com. Text charges may apply.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here. Based on analysis by Ookla Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Golf to Go is brought to you by the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Here's Frank LaRosa.
Golf.com's Josh Sens offers 5 common golf course maintenance mistakes and tips to correct them. You've hit the green, and to fix your divot, you jam your tool underneath the ball mark and lift the soil, but the right way is to circle the edges of the mark with your tool, gently pulling the turf toward the center. Second, when fixing divots in the fairway, fill it with sand until it's level with surrounding turf, and gently smooth it with your foot. Third, when the course imposes the 90-degree rule, it means to stay on the cart path until you can turn at a right angle to your ball, minimizing wear and tear on the turf. 4, when you're driving on the course, proceed at a modest pace and avoid staked and roped off areas. Avoid sharp turns, wet turf, bunker edges, tees, and greens. The superintendent will applaud you. 5, in a bunker, rake the sand smoothly and exit as you entered from the low side. Tap the sand from your shoes and leave it as if you weren't there. And now that you know, make sure your foursome knows as well. That's your Golf to Go. I'm Frank LaRosa.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Avery-Anna. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Michael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal, you should feel better about that, or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram is celebrating the hard-working folks that keep this country running strong by taking the work out of getting you into the new or used vehicle you want this Labor Day. The best customer service, the biggest selection, and the lowest prices. See for yourself, SacSuperstore.com.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140
on Sacktown Sports.
Still no text, still no Slack, still no call. I'm still here until, next Wednesday. So a week from today.
No later than that.
No later than that, as we await baby number 2's arrival. And I don't want to say it, but yeah, it's giving the same thing that happened last time, because that's all we know. All we know is a world where the due date comes and goes and we have to wait another week. So again, the anxiety is just right there, and I'm just hoping, I just really want to get the text, because I know she really doesn't want to have to wait that long.
Hey, based on how much we've been jinxing things for sports teams and players, which, by the way, Jacob Wilson finally hit his first home run since coming on the show.
I saw that. It was at Sutter Health.
It was at Sutter Health Park, But anyway, since you jinxed it, maybe you just jinxed yourself. Maybe you're going to get the Slack notification in about an hour or two.
Hopefully. All right. And by the way, Andy Bailey of Bleacher Report, he joins us in 15 minutes. You really, really don't want to miss this. Andy broke down the Western Conference teams, and he did not have the Kings making even the play-in. So if you are one of those tankers, if you will, or hey, let's just develop young talent types of fans, you're going to want to hear from Andy. But I want to get his thoughts on what we have been discussing as far as the theme for today's show. If you woke up today and you were Scott Perry, what would you do first? 916-339-1140. But right now, we have been doing some head-to-head matchups as far as the young players and who is going to kind of battle it out and get more playing time. But this is a version of that. It's not exactly playing time. This one is more straight up. And they're around the same age. And Keon might be, 2 years older than Nick Clifford now. I know Nick Clifford is 23, and Keon, I think, is probably 25 now. So that's all a part of it. Yes, Keon is 25. So my question to you, who will be better in 5 years when Keon Ellis is 30 and when Nick Clifford is 28? Who will be better in 5 years, Nick Clifford or Keon Ellis? Just feeling, Kyle. Obviously, Nick Clifford hasn't played a real NBA game yet. Who will be better, Kyle? Who will be better?
Just be chilling for real.
Okay. That was pretty quick answer, Kyle.
I'm not going to play it down the middle like you got on me for yesterday.
Yeah, well, thank you for growing up. I appreciate it.
Yeah, this is sports radio, Allen. We got to take sides.
Right. You're learning.
But no, it's just so hard to evaluate what Nick Clifford is going to be, right? He is a late first-round pick who is the oldest first-round pick in his draft, and I'm going to take the player that I know to be an excellent role player in Keon Ellis, right? If Nick Clifford ends up becoming Herb Jones or some player like that, then awesome. I mean, the Kings will have hit on a late first-round draft pick for the first time in what feels like 10 years. But, they don't have late first-round picks, so I guess 20 years since they hit on a late first-round draft pick. So I think we would feel great about that if it happened, but I've never seen Nick Clifford play a minute of NBA basketball, and I know that his role next year is going to be in the Jake LaRavia position. So I'm essentially taking the known commodity and saying that within 5 years, Keon Ellis will still be a solid role player in the NBA.
Well, Kyle, you're getting closer, okay, to what you're supposed to do in sports talk radio. You gave a stance. That's good. You did give the easy answer, but we're getting there. Okay, we're growing. We are getting there day by day. So I appreciate that.
My nickname of Captain Nuance is slowly being stripped away.
That's right. Because the answer is Nick Clifford. The answer is Nick Clifford. He's younger. Okay. Offensively, I think he is, and again, no disrespect. I think here is the kicker for me. I think that Nick Clifford is much better than Keon Ellis offensively. The gap is larger with Nick Clifford and Keon offensively than it is with Keon and Nick Clifford defensively. I understand he hasn't played a game in the NBA yet, and I could be completely wrong in 5 years, but that's what predictions are about, and that's what I'm basing my prediction on. And Kyle went the safe route, so there's no way I can go the safe route as well, even if it's the smarter thing to do. I just like the way Nick Clifford handles the basketball, to be completely honest with you. He's got some size on him. He drinks his muscle milk. Okay, he's had some creatine once or twice, allegedly. I'm just kidding, but he looks like he lifts. That's all I'm saying. All right,
not quite Jalen Duren, but
no. Well, I know Jalen Duren.
No,
but
nobody's packing as much as Jalen Duren.
The packing is got to stop. But Nick Clifford's got some good size on him. All right, he's got some good width as well as height. So he's taller than Keon. He's thicker than Keon. He's better offensively than Keon, or I should say, let me rephrase that. He projects to be better offensively than Keon. That's what I'm going with. And that's not to say, I think Keon is still, look, there's a first-round pick versus somebody who didn't get drafted, right? So that's why I'm going in that direction. But that's not to say that I think Keon is some type of bum. I think it just says how high I am on Nick Clifford. And I could easily be wrong, but I just like what he's able to do offensively. And I think he could get close to Keon defensively.
Well, if he gets close to Keon defensively, I think you've kind of outlined the point why I would argue in favor of Keon Ellis, because most of my argument was I have no idea what Nick Clifford is going to be. Mm-hmm. But Keon Ellis has a skill set that I think will always be useful in the NBA, right? Keon does not have some qualities that are very important to be a great NBA player. For example, can't dribble. For example,
well, not that he can't dribble.
Can't guard ball handling ones.
He's not crossing anybody up.
No, not. But as Jalen Williams on the Thunder showed us, sometimes all you got to do is be able to dribble straight.
Yeah.
And even Keon struggles with that sometimes. Anyways, struggles with guarding ball handling ones, your James Hardens, your Jalen Brunsons, guys like that. But he has an uncanny ability to shoot threes, especially spot up threes, and can defend off ball as well as anyone in the league. And those two skill sets will always be useful, especially in the modern NBA. I think a big reason why Keon Ellis has found a role in the NBA is that those two skill sets, spot up three-point shooting and off-ball defending on the perimeter, have become in vogue. And so I feel like those two specific skill sets, if Keon can just do that, he will always be on an NBA team. I won't say he'll always have a role on an NBA team, but he will always be on an NBA team until he's 32 years old or 33.
Who's right? Who's wrong? 916-339-1140. Let's talk to Andy Bailey on the other side and see what he has to say about the Kings and the moves that they have made so far. 11 o'clock hour coming up. Don't move. Allen Stiles, Sacked on Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, perhaps hidden in the attention given to rookies like Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson has been the play of outfielder Colby Thomas. Thomas, a third-round pick out of Mercer University, in his first 61 at-bats this year, 4 doubles, 4 home runs, and 13 RBIs.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge.
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Ranks up the savings with amazing deals during the Honda Summer Event happening now. Whether you're shopping new or pre-owned, you'll find unbeatable selection, serious savings, and top dollar for your trade. From quick crosstown drives to full-blown road trips, wherever you're headed, Stockton Honda is ready to help you get there in style. Start your summer adventures at Stockton Honda or StocktonHonda.com.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Hey, Sacramento homeowners, imagine the coolest, most comfortable summer in 30 years, leaving air conditioning giants drowning in overstock. That's your golden ticket to massive savings right now at Sierra Pacific. We've forged powerhouse partnerships with the world's top manufacturers. They trust us for flawless installations, unbeatable service, and our massive reach across Sacramento to move their inventory fast. In return, exclusive, jaw-dropping discounts just for you. Upgrade your home with premium systems at rock-bottom prices, installed by the region's elite craftsmen, and backed by ironclad warranties and legendary support. Plus, snag huge tax credits and SMUD rebates to slash costs even further. This inventory clearing bonanza won't last. Seize it today. Call Sierra Pacific for your free in-home consultation and discover the perfect system for your ultimate comfort. Dial 916-638-0543 now or head to SierraPacificHome.com. Don't miss out. Your cooler, cozier home awaits.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air, the guys in the big red trucks.
Attention taxpayers, if you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000. And they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the SMUD Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Your local sports leader in the 916.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios, Sacktown Sports 1140. Live and local.
It's Allen Stiles
On Sacktown Sports.
11 o'clock on the dot on a beautiful Wednesday, I guess early afternoon. We are slowly, it's still morning, but we're getting to the afternoon. And no better way to kick off the 11 o'clock hour than with Andy Bailey, who writes for Bleacher Report and covers the NBA. Andy, thank you so much for joining us. Good to have you on the show again.
Appreciate you having me, Alan. Always a pleasure to be with you. Fun chatting hoops with you.
Let's start here, Andy. We read off your article from last week where you broke down all of the different records for the NBA teams. You had the Kings with 35 wins. Andy, I think that's probably going to be 11 or 12. That's not going to be good enough, I don't think, to make the play-in the crazy Western Conference and how things are going right now. Did you have the 35 wins? This is how we've been trying to figure things out. Did you have the 35 wins just based on a full season, nothing changes? Or is it a situation where, hey, they don't play well early, they do end up moving on from at least a DeMar DeRozan, and the second half of that season after the trade deadline might be a bit of an implosion as they're trying to figure things out? Or do you think that this current roster for 82 games, you're only seeing 35 wins?
Well, that's a good question. I think there could be a hint of that, of the forward-looking analysis that you mentioned with a team like the Kings. I think it's easier for me to look forward and foresee a tank for a team like the Nets or some other teams that we maybe anticipate doing that a little bit more confidently. But I think even if Sacramento mostly stands pat, it's going to be tough to get to 40 wins in the West. It seems like it gets better every year somehow. And occasionally there are years where the West doesn't quite live up to our expectations, and then maybe that resets the cycle a little bit. But it is perennially better than the East, and not just a little bit. Like it's the varsity conference.
Right.
And so that's one stumbling block that the Kings have to worry about. And I just, in terms of raw talent, I don't think they quite measure up to a lot of the other teams in the conference. And when you're in the West, you have a heavy Western Conference schedule.
Right.
So it's just tough. And there are things that I like about the Kings roster. I'm not sure I could confidently pick them to make the play-in. I actually think they might be better served doing what you alluded to. Maybe they get to January or February and can find some takers for a couple of their veterans and lean a little bit harder into some of the young guys that they have, because I think that just does more for them long term.
Talking to Annie Bailey, who writes for Bleacher Report, covers the NBA. Andy, we spent a lot of time talking about Scott Perry and how much wiggle room he really had coming into this season. Obviously, they needed a point guard. They got a point guard in Dennis Schroder. But outside of that, there's some contracts that couldn't really be moved too much. And DeMar DeRozan, it's now coming out. Maybe they didn't try that hard to move DeMar DeRozan, and they like what he brings to the table. How do you think Scott Perry has done in the couple months that he has had with the Sacramento Kings and the moves that he's made?
I guess if I had to give it like a letter grade, I'd say he at least passed, maybe like a C plus, B minus. If we're just basing it on this limited window that he's been in charge, there wasn't a lot of wiggle room. Like you said, DeMar DeRozan's contract specifically may not be one that there's a ton of interest for around the league. And we already knew before Zach LaVine was traded to the Kings that there wasn't a ton of interest for him when he was a Chicago Bull. So it's hard to kind of conjure that up out of thin air. And it seems like those are the two guys that would be most likely to be traded. I guess you could maybe talk about Domantas Sabonis as well. But at that point, you're talking about, I think, like a full organizational realignment. Right. Which they may not be able to, or may not be ready to push that button yet. Maybe they are in January, maybe they are in February, maybe they realize, shoot, like this really is an uphill climb in this conference, and we don't have what it takes to compete. Let's find more playing time for Maxime Renaud. Let's find more playing time for Nick Clifford, Keon Ellis. Like it's not a young core, but it's young enough that I think you can give them a little bit of a runway. Like most of those guys are between 25 and 22, I think. Yeah. So there is some upside there, I think, to explore. It'd be easier to explore it if you can move some of those guys, but that's easier said than done. Especially in this new CBA, which it appears that the league's goal was to slow down player movement a little bit, and that has certainly happened. I mean, it's been a very dry offseason relative to some of the ones we've experienced previously. So that could be part of what Scott Perry is dealing with right now, too.
Talking to Andy Bailey, who covers the NBA for Bleacher Report. Go check out all of his articles on Bleacher Report and the Bleacher Report app. And, you bring that up, Andy, as far as the decision that the Kings could make. I talked about the Kings possibly going 13-7 before I saw their schedule, when they face the Timberwolves 3 times, the Thunder 3 times, and the Nuggets 3 times in those first 20 games. So life is going to come at them very, very fast. Speaking of player movement, Andy, what do you make of the Kings' interest in one of the more intriguing players in the NBA, Jonathan Kuminga? Clearly, they want him a little bit more than they first were trying to lead on here.
I am still a Kuminga believer.
Okay, we found one. We found one.
I feel like there are fewer of us every passing day and week. I see him as a really fascinating, and he probably does not see himself this way, but I see him as a very fascinating small ball big man. The first couple of years of his career, he had some finishes at the rim, and I'm going to throw out a name here that's kind of crazy, and it's not an apples to apples comparison, but just visually and athletically, some of his finishes looked like Amari Stoudemire to me. He's just so quick off the ground.
Yeah.
And I think he sees himself more as a wing, like a 2-3-4 type of a guy.
Right.
And maybe he is. And if he has some wing skills with the above the rim finishing ability of Amari Stoudemire, that's a pretty special player.
Right.
And that's obviously like top end potential for him. A lot of guys don't reach their top end potential. But the best possible version of Kuminga to me is a very good player. And I think he doesn't make a ton of sense with the current Kings roster. I think things could get awfully crowded offensively if him and DeRozan and Sabonis are all on the floor. Schroder, too. I think Schroder has had a couple good years as a three-point shooter in his career, but he's not the kind of guy that commands a ton of attention outside the three-point line. So I think their interest in Kuminga makes sense to me. If they were able to get him through a sign and trade or whatever mechanics it takes to do that, I would hope that would push them even further towards, okay, let's build around these guys that are all 25 and under. Let's see what we can get with that core. Because like I think I said already, I like some of those guys. Like I still believe in Keegan Murray too.
Yeah.
He's the kind of game that I like, and there's not a lot of frills to it. He's just a solid basketball player, makes good decisions, does a lot of stuff fundamentally well. Keon Ellis is a good defender. I really like Nick Clifford in this draft. So there are some interesting pieces here, and I think Kuminga would make it significantly more interesting, that young core. And I think, what is he, 21, 22 at this point?
Yeah, 22. Yeah.
So yeah, I think that would be great if they could get him. Obviously, a lot would depend on what they do after that move.
Right.
But it does make sense to me that they'd be interested.
Talking to Andy Bailey, who covers the NBA for Bleacher Report. You said a name, Andy, and I know we were talking about the younger player movement, but you said a name, so I want to ask you about him. I feel as if, and he's playing right now in Eurobasket, I don't know, Andy, and I'm not trying to be Mr. Optimism here, but I do feel like the Dennis Schroder thing is maybe a little bit underrated, maybe just a little bit. I mean, a lot of Kings fans were not thrilled. And look, I would have rather gotten a Tyus Jones if this was the direction you were going in. And let's see if some of the young guys can handle the rock, and maybe even a Malik Monk, give him another chance of being a secondary point guard, not the main point guard. But now that we're here with Dennis Schroder, I mean, the guy is no slouch, Andy.
I agree with that all the way through. I thought the reaction to his signing was kind of weird, frankly. He's not going to be an all-star, and he's in his 30s already. So there are downsides, but a lot of people were sort of painting this as this is a no-brainer, like one of the worst contracts of the offseason. And it's not like they signed him to some massive number. I guess the one part of it that I could probably nitpick a little bit easier is the trade that they made to facilitate bringing him in. Like that one was a bit of a head scratcher, to trade Valanciunas for Saric, and they obviously needed it for the cap space. But if Saric gives the Kings anything this season, it'll be a bit of a shocker, frankly. He did not look like an NBA player last season. But if you can kind of move that to the side, Schroder is still a solid player. He averaged almost 20 a game for the Nets before he got traded a couple times last season. He's a heck of a competitor. I love watching him for Team Germany. A lot of these guys who play in this tournament have a different role with their national team than they do in the NBA. And you can kind of see, heck yeah, that guy's talented. He can get to the basket. He's had some good stretches in the NBA. And when the alternative is no point guard, it makes a lot of sense to get him. Now, you can also talk about, the Kings had 2 all-star point guards on their roster 3 or 4 years ago. And if you compare it to that, it's also easy to nitpick. But it doesn't really do any good to keep looking back. They had to get a point guard this offseason. They weren't going to be able to bring back Halliburton or Fox. And so I think they did about as well as they could, given this free agent market, given what they had to work with.
Talking to Andy Bailey of Bleacher Report. Andy, from one point guard to another, again, this fascination with Russell Westbrook. Does that surprise you? Do you think it's a good fit? Also, just Russell Westbrook in general. Andy, have you heard anything? There were these Westbrook fans, we call them the Brookies, and they were chasing me down because I said, hey, it doesn't seem like anybody else wants Westbrook. They told me that he turned down Eastern Conference teams because he wants to stay in the West, and now I don't know that that's true or not. Just what do you make of Westbrook, where he is right now, his fit on the Kings, and the Kings being interested in him after signing Schroder to that 3-year deal and having 12 other guards on the roster?
Yeah. There's a lot to consider with Westbrook and the Kings. I will start my response by saying that I think he was better for the Nuggets than I expected. I think he was better than a lot of people expected. This is kind of, you could probably say this of anybody, but he looked really good when he played with Jokic. Obviously, Jokic is a guy that, lifts his teammates. And so maybe we can't read too much into that. But I thought he had a solid season. I think he still has something to give. And I'm a little surprised he's still available. I don't know anything about the accuracy of such and such team offered him a deal. I think if it's the middle of August, we're at the end of August at this point. I think if he had some real offers, he may be on the team right now.
Exactly.
Having said all that, I don't think he makes a lot of sense for the Kings. I have hinted a few times, if not said explicitly, they should probably be thinking more about the future than the present. And signing Westbrook obviously doesn't really fit into that philosophy. It also causes spacing problems, which we talked about earlier as well. Again, if you've got Sabonis and DeRozan on the floor, you want shooters around them. And Russell Westbrook is at a point in his career. I mean, he's never commanded a ton of respect from 3-point range. And to give him some credit, he actually did shoot really well from the corners last year. But he's still a guy that's going to be left alone outside the 3-point line, especially in high leverage moments. Like if the Kings did happen to make the play-in or the playoffs, teams will just leave him alone when he's outside the 3-point line. So I don't think he makes a lot of sense on multiple fronts for the Kings. If they brought him in, that would signal to me that the front office thinks this veteran core can compete for a playoff spot, and I'm just not sure that's true.
Yeah, I don't think so either, Andy, but that's where we're at with it. Andy, thank you so much for joining us. One more before we let you go, because this is kind of the theme of the show today. Andy, you wake up this morning and you are Scott Perry. What's the first thing you do? It could be nothing, right? But what is the first thing you do? You wake up this morning and you are Scott Perry, GM of the Sacramento Kings.
Well, you gave me an easy out when you said it could be nothing. I think you should probably see what this roster can do over the first couple of months, because, again, I just don't know if there's a lot of directions to pivot. And I would guess he's probably already done this, but I would at least So here is what I would do. I wouldn't just leave it at nothing. I would at least canvass the league and see if there's any interest in those three veterans.
Yeah.
First DeRozan, then Levine, and probably even Sabonis, who I think is a really, really good player. He is every single year an all-star caliber guy, puts up crazy numbers, always near the league lead in rebounds and triple doubles. But I think you may have already seen the ceiling of a Kings team led by Sabonis. Maybe that's not fair to say of a guy who's 29 years old, but I think you at least have to see if there's value for him out there. And I think there would be for Sabonis. I think it'd be harder to find a great return for Levine or DeRozan. But if you can get some team to give up a bunch of picks and maybe some young talent for Sabonis, and then you say, we're really going to lean into Keegan Murray and Nick Clifford and all these guys, I think you'd have to think about doing that.
Andy Bailey, thank you so much for joining us. Writes for Bleacher Report, covers the NBA. Be sure to follow Andy on social media. Check out all his work, including the 35 wins that he gave your Sacramento Kings on BleacherReport.com and the Bleacher Report app. Andy, thank you so much. We got to do this again soon, man, and enjoy the rest of your week.
Absolutely. Always enjoy being on, Allen.
Great stuff from Andy Bailey. Great stuff from my guy, Andy. And Kyle, you know exactly where I'm going to go with this. Before we go anywhere else with the conversation, so much was said. And the one thing that's sticking in my mind is what Andy had to say about how, and I got to be careful because we got media day coming up, but how bad Dario Saric was on the night. Like, that's the only thing. I'm going to go back and we're going to obviously re-listen to everything, but that to me, because this is 2 days straight now where we didn't know what happened in Denver, and now it's just kind of all coming out. This brother was unplayable.
Shocking if he gave the Kings anything this year was what he said.
That's what is tripping me up. And I didn't think Dario Saric was going to play even 20, don't get me wrong, even 20 minutes. But from what we're hearing, he might not get 5.
No.
He said he did not look like an NBA player.
Well, and this is the second year in a row, right? Because with Golden State, it was kind of the same problems.
Yeah.
So, look, I don't know what to do with the Dario Saric or the backup 4. We did a segment on it yesterday. You can check it out on YouTube. But it seems more and more ever since in the 24 hours since we did that segment, it seems more and more likely that Dario Saric is actually not an option.
Well, it's almost like, again, we keep doing these segments and then randomly stuff pops up on X, on Kings Reddit, wherever. And, everybody's listening and everything is listening, all these crawlers, these AI crawlers. And it's almost like there was a great reveal yesterday that Dario Saric, it was actually a terrible move. Because that's how we got there, because Andy said the Dennis Schroder move, and I'm trying to paraphrase here, he said he was a little confused or surprised at how people were reacting as if it was this terrible contract. He said the contract itself was not bad as far as Dennis Schroder and his play, but having to move off of Valanciunas and bring in Dario Saric as if there's any type of similarity there. And I know they brought in basically we could say, because Valanciunas wasn't playing the 4, but basically we could say in a weird way, Drew Eubanks and Dario Saric, do they equal Valanciunas? I think the answer is probably still no.
Probably not, but I guess if we operate under the assumption that Dario Saric is going to give us absolutely nothing, like he's going to be a deep bench player or he's going to get bought out, and it was just to move the money, is the gap between Drew Eubanks and Jonas Valanciunas in terms of production they're going to offer us, is that worth adding Dennis Schroder?
That's a great. It's a bit confusing to follow, but yes, I understand what you're saying.
Instead of just saying they gave up Jonas Valanciunas for Dennis Schroder, which sounds bad, phrase it as they gave up Jonas Valanciunas for Drew Eubanks and Dennis Schroder, which sounds on the surface like the difference between 35 wins and 36 wins, right? Like, it seems like that's a negligible improvement by the Kings, but backup center was a luxury, and starting point guard was a necessity. And so that's the decision you have to make when you bring together an interim beam team roster that didn't make sense last year and then changed nothing about your core six.
You know, I think we have a new we have a new quest. Okay? And here's the quest. The quest is to find someone that didn't like the Nick Clifford pick. The quest is to find someone who, not that they don't like Nick Clifford, obviously not as a person, but obviously when Devin Carter was picked, a lot of people thought, oh, okay. There are people that loved it, people that did not like it. Now, Andy did not say specifically, I like Nick Clifford, because I didn't ask him, hey, what do you like about the Kings? But Nick Clifford got brought up. Everybody likes Nick Clifford, and he's kind of turned into the one shining star, one shining thing. Just like there's not one person in the world that is attractive to everyone, right? You can name any supermodel, man or woman. There's somebody out there that says, that's just not my tea. That's just not my cup of tea. Might be a small percentage for certain models, but there's always somebody, right? Nobody is attractive to anyone. There's somebody out there that doesn't like, there's an NBA writer out there that doesn't like the Nick Clifford pick and or what Nick Clifford could be. And it's our job to find him.
Who is the person who says, you know, I don't know why the Kings gave up a future first-round pick for a guy who's 23 years old.
There's one, just like the one person that didn't vote Ichiro into the Hall of Fame, there's one person out there. We got to find them.
All right, so we, like Ichiro extended an offer to that writer to come have dinner. If you are the person out there who is an NBA expert,
yes,
who thinks that the Kings didn't do a good job trading a future top 16 protected first-round pick for Nick Clifford, we are extending an invitation for you to come on the show. Any writer with any credibility that did not like the Nick Clifford selection.
I don't think we'll be able to find it. I think it is maybe the most universally accepted decision by the Kings in probably the last, help me out here, the historians, I don't know, decade?
Something
relatively speaking.
Relatively speaking, people believe it. But I think you phrased it perfect a while back, which is the idea of like anytime someone talks about the Sacramento Kings, it's like saying, oh yeah, they have a great personality. They preface it by saying, I like them taking Nick Clifford. But everything else is a mess.
Everything else, but
they have good personality.
They do have Nick Clifford and Keon Ellis. They do have those two.
They might not have Keon Ellis after this year, but they've got him for now.
And and wherever that texter's at, Keegan Murray's still not signed to the extension. We know what the number's going to be, but they refuse to give him the number. We don't know. Great stuff from Andy Bailey. That'll be up on, if you're just getting into your car, that'll be up on YouTube and the Sacktown Sports app for your listening and viewing pleasure. And you can check it out on YouTube. Kyle and I are kind of sort of matching, not really, but close enough. So you can go check that out. That'll be up soon. When we return, it's time to open up the phone lines and open up the text line to everyone. And by the way, Justin Moore tickets, 1:00. I meant to mention that as well. But you wake up this morning and you're Scott Perry. What do you do first? And keep it classy, Sacramento. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Future Ford.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA 3 Weather Center. It is Wednesday. Stepping outside, it's comfortable. As we get into the afternoon, expect to have mostly sunny skies, light winds, and temperatures today down a little bit. Expect highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s. Get the latest forecast on the KCRA 3 News and the KCRA 3 app.
It's the final days of Summer Closeout 25 at your Future Ford dealers. Get closeout pricing on F-150, Bronco, Explorer, Mach-E, and more. But don't wait. It all ends Monday at Future Ford Lincoln in the Roseville Auto Mall and Future Ford of Sacramento at I-80 in Madison.
Do Crohn's disease or ulcerative colitis symptoms keep coming back? Tremfya, guselkumab, may help, with rapid remission achieved at 12 weeks and lasting clinical remission at 1 year. Some even saw visible improvement of their intestinal lining at 12 weeks and 1 year. Tremfya is a prescription medicine used to treat adults with moderately to severely active Crohn's disease and adults with moderately to severely active ulcerative colitis. Serious allergic reactions and increased risk of infections and liver problems may occur. Before treatment, your doctor should check you for infections and tuberculosis. Tell your doctor if you have an infection, flu-like symptoms, or if you need a vaccine. Healing is possible with Tremfya. Approximately 3 out of 10 patients were in endoscopic remission at 1 year, based on areas visualized on colonoscopy, which may not represent the deeper bowel layer or entire GI tract. Individual results may vary. Ask your doctor about Tremfya today. Call 1-800-526-7736 to learn more or visit tremfyaradio.com.
The IRS finally caught up with Louie.
I hadn't paid my taxes in 8 years. I owe the IRS a lot of money.
Louie was in deep trouble.
We're going to take your house, put a lien on your bank account, garnish your pay. They don't care. They're going to take your paycheck.
Louie found out about Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima Tax, they help me. They calm me down. They make me feel comfortable, and I trust them.
Louie has a lot to be thankful for.
I don't owe the IRS anymore, and I'm able to live a comfortable life, a lot better life. It was because of Optima Tax.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation. Take it from Louie.
If you owe the IRS, don't go it alone. Give Optima Tax a call. They can help you.
Call 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. 800-343-6460. Optima Tax Relief. Testimonial from an actual client. Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Hey, Shark fans. The Esquire IMAX Theater in downtown Sacramento is showing the original blockbuster from 1975, Jaws, 15th anniversary, the IMAX experience.
You yell shark, we've got a panic on our hands on the 4th of July.
Remastered by IMAX for surround sound and crystal clear images. The original Jaws gripping suspense is a must-see on the Esquire IMAX Theater 6-story screen. Get reserved seats early to limited screenings at IMAX.com/Sacramento. Jaws playing this week only at the Esquire IMAX Theater.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Let's go!
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A+ Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal. You should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
Great stuff from Andy Bailey. Thank you, Andy, for joining us. See, Kyle Ledbetter got him some culture. Now he's coming back with Classic Man, a song he didn't know existed last week. Oh,
no.
Goodness. Oh, my goodness.
The beat is good, though.
I feel like it's almost fun because you're going to get exposed to so
Please finish the sentence.
So many pieces of culture that you have no clue exists.
From a bygone era.
I mean, you didn't know Classic Man by Jidenna. You never been to a steakhouse.
Had never had Taco Bell.
Now just wait. We keep doing what we're doing here on the Allen Stiles Show. I'll get you to a steakhouse. How about that?
Look, I I joked about it yesterday.
I got you I forgot about the Taco Bell thing.
Yeah, well, I had to pay for that because Karl Anthony Towns sucks. But look, this is I trust your music taste. You introduced me to the fact that every Shabuzi song is exactly the same. The one with Jelly Roll is actually pretty good. But again, look, if your music taste is good, I'll add it as a music bed. I've got no issue with that.
So I do stuff. I send you stuff. And if I hear it again, that means you like it. If I don't hear it again, that means you secretly didn't like it but couldn't say it on air.
Or the instrumental was not good.
Okay.
Because, again, we got to play it safe with some of these instrumentals. You can't get in trouble with that.
You wake up this morning and you're Scott Perry. What do you do first? We will have Kyle's answer. We will have my answer. We're first going to hear from TC. I said the phone lines were open. TC said, all right, let's see what Allen's talking about. TC, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. What you got?
Hey, what's up, man? Hey, so I'm going to jump in, and I'm going to come in truthfully, bro. I disagree with everything dude was talking about. The guy, whatever his name was, the guy from The Athletic. Like, I get it. He might be plugged in or whatever, but I disagree. He's coming from a tanking standpoint, so he stands on the tanking standpoint. So the whole 35 wins and sell this person off and do this and that, like, I really don't want to hear any of that, bro. Scott Perry don't want to hear none of that, bro.
I don't know if Scott Perry wants to hear any of that or not. Thanks for the call, TC. Look.
Whatever his name was from The Athletic is great.
Right. First of all, Andy Bailey from Bleacher Report. Thank you, TC. I don't think you were trying to roast. I think you just legitimately were trying to figure it out. I just don't think that Andy was terribly negative. Right? If we were to, and he said he liked Nick Clifford. We all like Nick Clifford. He said the Dennis Schroder thing, he was higher on the Dennis Schroder move than a lot of people. Okay, he said that the way he was talking about Domantas Sabonis, I think he's higher on Domantas Sabonis than a lot of people are, right? It's just it's the same two things. It's DeMar DeRozan and it's Zach LaVine. But that's probably as optimistic, I guess, for lack of a better term, than you're going to find outside of Sacramento. It is. You don't have to agree with it. Don't get me wrong. I know. Look, TC, oh, well, that's probably not what Scott Perry wants to hear. Well, definitely not. And I made a joke just based on, maybe tanking and, setting yourself up better for success. But no, obviously Scott Perry doesn't want to hear that. But that's not the only person saying it. It gets normally a lot worse. I thought Andy was pretty nice. We've had other writers on that really just dig into the Sacramento Kings, right? And look, they're going to have an opportunity as I will be here, right, after these long nights with baby number 2. I will be here in October. You will be here in October, and the Kings will have a chance to silence all the doubters. It's that simple. Dario Saric will have a chance to silence all the doubters. Okay? UPS Chris might be the text of the day. He says, no wonder why the Warriors said hell no to the Dario and Devin trade for JK. That's a great point. That's an outstanding point. Now that we know what the league thinks of Dario Saric, the Warriors probably thought that was wildly disrespectful.
If Dario Saric is unplayable, Devin Carter can't get traded for 2 seconds right now, and they offered another 2 seconds. That had to be just laughed out the building offer.
Well, because what's funny is money-wise that worked, but we never heard about Devin Carter and Dario with an unprotected first. The Warriors probably said, that's still not good enough.
We just do not want that.
Yeah. We can't say yes to that. Not for Jonathan Kuminga. We'd actually rather lose him for nothing. because at least we can say we stood on business. Whether we agree with the business or not, or whether you agree with the business or not, hey, that's up to your discretion. 916-339-1140. Let's hear from Ashley. What would Ashley do? You wake up and you're Scott Perry. What's up, Ashley? What you got for us?
Not much. If I'm Scott Perry, though, I'm waking up, and the first thing I'm doing, and this might sound a little weird. Well, not weird, but a little, odd to point out. But I'm calling Doug Christie, and I'm making sure that we're on the same page.
Yeah.
That's first and foremost. And then after that, if I could get Westbrook on a minimum contract, I think in some ways that could actually help the Kings because, A, we're adding a little bit of the rebounding that we are losing from Valanciunas. And the other reason is Westbrook is a guy who's always hustling, always giving it his all. He's never taken a play off. And he's not a defensive stalwart by any means, but he gives effort on the defense. And if I'm 24, 25 years old, maybe even younger on this Kings roster, and I'm saying, look at this guy. He's a Hall of Famer. He's 36, and he's given this much energy. I got to make sure I'm matching that energy. That's going to be good for the Kings.
Yeah, that's a great call, Ashley. And thanks for it, as always. So Ashley would double check. Hey, Doug, are we on the same page? We know how that went with Mike Brown and Monty McNair the last couple seasons. And as far as Westbrook is concerned, Ashley in on bringing in Russell Westbrook. I just think that, again, that all makes sense to me outside of Dennis Schroder. If you have Dennis Schroder, if you don't have Dennis Schroder and it's let's let Westbrook show us the way, I'm in. And I'm not even completely out even with Dennis Schroder at this point. I've just been so, I don't know if beaten down is the right term, but I've just been so beaten down that, okay, just bring him in, because I do agree with Ashley. I guess, again, let's just stop with the vet conversation and let's just call it a dog, right? It's not that you need veteran presence because you have plenty of veteran presence. You don't think there's a dog in that locker room. And I'm not putting words in Scott Perry's mouth, but that's what this is. That is what this is. You are missing a dog. It ain't a vet conversation. That whole roster is, the youngest dude is 22. Okay? Majority of the roster's over 25. It's not a vet conversation. So can we stop calling it that? You need a dog. You feel like there is no dog in that locker room. That's what it is with Scott Perry. At my estimation, of course. But that's what it is. It's not about a vet. It's not about a vet. It's about, can you find somebody that's going to be able to flip that switch? This is not about, oh, we need more point guard play. No. It's not about we need more veteran presence. No, everybody's 25, 26, and 30 years old. DeMar's 36. It's not about vet presence, right? They're not out there. They're not interested in bringing Harrison Barnes back. No disrespect. He'll teach you how to do your taxes. Don't forget, that's going to be coming up quicker than you know it. Teach you how to tie a tie, wear a suit. Right? There are plenty of vets out there. You just got Dougie McBuckets. You had Jay Crowder. No, they feel like they need a dog. Do you feel like Jay Crowder didn't do enough doggy stuff?
You mean like
last season?
Sorry, I just thought about the sentence you just said.
Somebody's getting in their car.
We're definitely going to quote that. We're definitely going to cut that. Anyways.
Did you feel like he'd bring more dog to the table last season?
I'm sorry. I'm still stuck on doggy stuff. Anyways, he helped the rookies meet the refs.
He did do that, but that's not really doggy to me.
But they also didn't get into any fights. They didn't have any moments where
He's
it's like
to make the fights.
What, Jay Crowder? Jay Crowder's not.
He didn't play. That was a problem.
Jay Crowder's not James Johnson though. Jay Crowder's crazy was like fighting with management type
Kyle,
of crazy.
This is the team that tried to set when I moved out here, took the job. Y'all tried to sell me on Trey Lyles being a dog because of that one scuffle for 2 years. So if you're trying to sell me on Trey Lyles, Jay Crowder was plenty dog enough.
I guess they just didn't have any dog situations. I think maybe even the chaos of the season got to Jay Crowder, Even Jay Crowder at the end was just whatever, man.
Yeah,
I just want to go home.
Just give me my back brace. I need to get out of here, bro.
And this was his last stop, too, in the league, right? So he's just never mind. I'm good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Jay Crowder didn't want to be dog enough on this team. This was no reason.
Yeah, I'm not wasting my dogness. I haven't seen his name, but he also hasn't retired. I don't believe.
He's going to be a quiet retirement. In a year and a half, we're going to hear Jay Crowder officially retired, probably on his podcast.
916-339-1140. There are a couple flyers that the Kings may or may not be interested in. And we continue the theme of today's show. You wake up this morning and you're Scott Perry. What do you do first? Sound South, Sacktown Sports.
Bonneville International Radio Station contests are open to participants at least 18 years of age and older that are residents of California and who reside in one of the 6 counties that make up the Sacramento metro area, unless otherwise specified. Employees or agents of the station, Bonneville International Corporation, other area radio stations, or any entity associated with the contest are not eligible to win, unless the station otherwise specifies in its own discretion. Persons who have won in the last 30 days from a station contest or event may not be eligible. For a copy of the general contest rules, visit khdk.com.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton & Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Labor Day is right around the corner, and Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram want to thank the hardworking folks who keep this country running strong. And they're going to do this by taking the work out of you getting the new or used vehicle you want. They do this by offering the best customer service in the business, having the largest selection in Northern California, and offering the lowest prices on Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and America's truck, the Ram. See for yourself online at sacssuperstore.com why more and more people are making their way to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
Attention taxpayers. If you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000 and they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584.
Priority Tax Relief.
Come check out Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room with the most variety of table games in the region in a safe and friendly environment. Plenty of well-lit parking available, conveniently located in downtown Sacramento. And remember, Capital Casino has the best food, the best service, and the best action. 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and please gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Labor Day savings explode at Elk Grove Chevy with $3,000 off MSRP on every new 2025 Trax in stock.
$3,000 off Trax exclusively at Elk Grove Chevy. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MetaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Dealer for details.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Taking you up to 2 p.m. You wake up this morning and you are Scott Perry. What do you do first? All right, let's go ahead and answer this ourselves, Kyle. I always throw to you first, so I'm going to go first in this instance. I wake up this morning and yes, we see people in the text line and they're making jokes and there's drinking involved. It's very funny, but we cannot read that on the air, but I see it. 916. I wake up this morning and I'm Scott Perry and I don't think that and Andy Bailey, who joined us of Bleacher Report, he brought up just kind of reassessing the three amigos, if you will, DeMar DeRozan, Zach LaVine, and Domantas Sabonis. We kind of know what it is. I don't think I would hit the red button on Domantas Sabonis quite yet. Honestly, and I know it's tough with Malik still on the squad, but I feel like I want to say something that doesn't have to do initially with making moves, because it does feel, and Andy also spoke really eloquently to the fact that this new CBA is kind of hindering player movement, and I never really thought about it like that, but it is. So with that being said, from an internal perspective, that's what I want to think about, right? Because they're all good with Malik. That's what we keep hearing. They're all good with Malik. And you look at the starting lineup, and I would just be on high alert. I would have a conversation with DeMar DeRozan even now, even before a Kuminga thing happens or whatever. I would just ask DeMar DeRozan, where are you at coming off the bench? That's what I would ask him, because I do think you're trying to get something out of this season, and it would be a precursor, right? Because once you want to do it, it's a lot harder to have the conversation in the middle of the season. I think I would say, hey, we're going to try some different things this season. And I wouldn't even use the word bench per se. I would just say, let's have a usage conversation, right? You are in top 20 in field goal attempts. You've seen what I had to say about dribbling the air out of the basketball. I said it during, I'm Scott Perry right now. I said it during Summer League interview for everyone to hear, and people aggregated it. It is what it is. But how do you feel about us altering your usage and trying to evolve who you are as a basketball player? That's the first thing I would do. You don't have to necessarily come off the bench, because I don't think you have to come off the bench if we're able to make it work in the starting lineup. But all of us are on the same page. All of us want to go to the playoffs. All of us want to compete. That did not happen with you as a 2010 style first option. That didn't happen. So let's figure out how to put us in the best position. And I think that first starts with a conversation about your usage and some of the magnet ball, get into the office stuff, which, to be clear, I know a lot of it was out of necessity. Let's see if we can evolve this offense a little bit this upcoming season. That's probably the first thing I'm doing, talking to DeMar DeRozan. Not about coming off the bench per se, but just his usage.
How are we going to make this work?
Yes.
With you
How
and
are we
Zach?
going to not stink like last season?
How are we going to get Zach in the best position to succeed, DeMar?
Right, because he makes twice as much as you.
And is the focal point of our offense now. Yeah. Sorry, DeMar. I know last year was kind of weird. Zach was sitting in the corner and shooting threes a lot. And to your point about playing well in garbage time, a lot of people were getting frustrated about him just cooking once they were already out of the game.
Right.
DeMar, Zach's offense. Mm-hmm. It's Sabonis' offense, but Sabonis is a pass-first guy. So it's Zach's world now. How are you going to exist within Zach's offense?
What do you got, Kyle?
Well, if I woke up today and I were Scott Perry, I would first do that joke that the 916 said that we can't read on the air. You know who you are if you said it. That was very good. And then I would open up my laptop, open whatever the general manager NBA executive version of Spot Track is, because I'm sure they have a very fancy one with all the contracts and stuff. I'm going on fancy general manager Spot Track, and I am Googling Jabari Smith Jr. contract. I have it here on Spot Track, about 122 million guaranteed, starts at 23 million, ends at 27 million by the end of it. There's 1 year where it goes down, but that's not important. What I'm doing is I'm taking that Jabari Smith Jr. contract, clicking Control P and printing it, erasing the signatures, calling Keegan Murray's agent and presenting him the exact contract that Jabari Smith Jr. got from the Houston Rockets. And if Keegan Murray, you know what I'm going to do? Jabari Smith Jr. got $122 million over 5 years. I'm going to offer him $123 million over 5 years. That way he gets more than the guy who was picked right in front of him. So I'm going to add $1 million to the Jabari Smith Jr. contract, present it to Keegan Murray's agent, and hope that we have a long-term extension. So that is how I'm going about the contract negotiation with Keegan, because it should be fairly straightforward.
Yes.
Jabari Smith Jr. is a slightly better defensive player. Keegan is a slightly better offensive player. They're both kind of occupying similar offenses and similar, well, I guess the pre-De'Aaron Fox trade Kings and the current Houston Rockets looked very similar in terms of offensive production and Jabari Smith Jr.'s role. So I'm just offering Keegan Murray whatever they offered Jabari Smith Jr. and saying, take it, or I guess we can negotiate, but it seems like a pretty fair offer.
Yeah. The 262, Craig in Wisconsin. Shout out Wisconsin. Is that the Cheeseheads?
Yes.
Shout out Wisconsin. Hey, guys, if I were Scott Perry, I would call the New York Knicks and offer either DeMar or Zach and multiple first-round picks for Bridges or OG. Just get it done and balance the roster already! Exclamation point. Craig in Wisconsin. I don't think they're moving off of OG, Craig. They would. Here's the thing. I think they would move off of OG for not
what the Kings have.
Well, it's the first round picks that they lost for Bridges that I think could excite them a bit. It would be Zach, even though I don't know that money works because neither of them, OG nor Bridges, make as much money as Zach. But if Craig just wants to get it done, Zach, 3 first rounders, right? That probably gets it done for OG. I'm not. That's too much. I'm not doing that now. Bridge, and I like I said, it would be that because they don't want to move on OG. I think they would be, and we've been reporting this for a while, or discussing the report of it for a while, that signing Bridges to that extension doesn't necessarily lock, the same way we talked about it with PJ Washington, it doesn't lock Bridges in with his Villanova buddies forever. I think they'd be willing to move off of Bridges, and they would take those first round picks because they lost so many when they traded for Bridges. So it would be Zach and maybe 2 for Bridges. And again, that money still isn't perfect, but I'm just playing the game for you, Craig. I would obviously do it. Let's just eliminate money for a second. And maybe that's DeMar, because that money would work better. DeMar, are you doing DeMar and 2 firsts for Mikal Bridges? I don't think I'm doing that, because I think that the wing conversation is over. Honestly, I think that it's over. I'm not giving up the future, because if you bring in let's say they want to do it, right? And this is the same thing I do every time we discuss making a move like that. Fine, they want to do it. DeMar's out, Bridges is in. You're out, 2 first rounders at least. DeMar, because DeMar, they're probably saying you wanted to move off of DeMar anyway. So they might make you do 3, okay? But even at 2, you're going to lose 2 first rounders, possibly 3, to bring in Bridges, and we could have Andy Bailey on from Bleacher Report, or whoever you want to have on, or throw it into Fanspo right now if you can get it to work. And how much better are the Kings right now? I think that they need a 4, or they need another guy for Keegan, but I don't think I'm willing to give up the future, because either way, I don't think that there is somebody realistically out there that's going to change the immediate future for the Kings. That's why I'm not doing it.
I know we're up against the break, but I will say, Craig, it might not be the first move that we would do, but I think Craig might be early to this take, because if we get to next summer, where obviously DeRozan is not a fully guaranteed contract, Levine player option, all that stuff. But if we get to next summer and the Knicks still have those 5 guys, Carl, OG, Brunson, Bridges, and Hart, all on the team, they're going to be a second apron team, which means they're going to have to move one of them or be in the second apron, which the Boston Celtics said, no, thank you. The Phoenix Suns said, no, thank you. We will just take less value.
They got to win the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
They win the whole thing, they'll do it.
Or trade Carl for Giannis or, something like that. Right. So if they get to next summer with those 5 guys, they're going to have to move one of them. And I assume they're not going to try and trade Carl. They're not going to try and trade Brunson for, just give them away to get off the salary. So your options might be Hart, Bridges, and Anunoby, who the Knicks are just trying to move one of them for salary purposes.
Yeah.
At which point, maybe that makes more sense for the Kings to go after him.
Yeah, I think OG would definitely have a higher price tag, right? But it's weird because, hey, well, we know you don't want to go into the apron, so your price tag can't be that high because we know you're not dumping him, but you're kind of dumping him. So, Craig, you might be just a little early to the party. It's better to be early than late, and you got Kyle thinking here, which is always a good thing. 12 o'clock hour coming up next. What grade did B-Ball Index give each Sacramento King in the 2025 season? There are some A's, there are some B's, there are some C's, D's, and yes, F's. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
This is Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports 1140, and the big deals are rolling in at Folsom Buick's GMC's end of summer sales event. Right now, take home the 2025 Sierra 1500 Crew Cab Denali with $13,500 off MSRP, or lease it for just $699 a month for 24 months with $5,999 due at signing. This is your chance to drive the bold and powerful Sierra 1500 Crew Cab built to stand out on the road. When the summer ends, so do these deals. So don't miss out. Visit FolsomBuick.com today.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Avriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, perhaps hidden in the attention given to rookies like Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson has been the play of outfielder Colby Thomas. Thomas, a third-round pick out of Mercer University, in his first 61 at-bats this year, 4 doubles, 4 home runs, and 13 RBIs.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge.
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Time now for your Sacktown Sports 49ers report, brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, conveniently located beside the Vacaville outlets. The Niners finished preseason play on Saturday with a 30-23 win over San Diego. Curtis Robinson had a 32-yard interception return for the go-ahead touchdown, and Tariq Owens, son of Terrell Owens, caught a touchdown pass. The 49ers start for real a week from Sunday. They're in Seattle. Listen all season long to 49er football right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 mpg combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
KHD KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento. From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
This is Sacktown Sports 1140.
Your home for Kings talk and so much more.
Live and local.
Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
Everyone is waking up and finding out that they're Scott Perry. Okay. There was a song, talk about 2010s. Kyle, you got to find this. Here you go. Freaky Friday with Lil Dicky.
Yeah, I don't know if we can play that song.
You can play it.
That is a great song.
It is a great song. What happened to him?
What do you mean? He had the most popular show on TV for like 2 years.
Can I say something about that show?
Oh, boy.
It was, and they were both on FX. Kind of a Atlanta ripoff.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. Kind of an Atlanta.
They just did a white version of Atlanta.
Okay, yeah, I don't. You know. You said it.
Yeah, no, you. That's like the criticism about the show.
Okay.
I thought you were gonna say like the show is trash or the humor is too lowbrow.
I just didn't know if everyone understood that it was a different version of Atlanta with Childish Gambino.
We understood that.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if the broad we understood that.
Well, we can get the instrumental at least. Okay.
I mean, yes, we can. But by the way, great song. Also, like, Lil Dicky is still putting out music. What?
Yeah, he doesn't have to do anything. None of these people have to do anything. You know what? Funny enough, and we're going to get to the grades that B-Ball Index gave the Sacramento Kings. Yesterday, we were trying to figure this out. This is hardcore pocket watching. This is what you do when you're just wasting time waiting for your baby to show up. So we're watching whatever we're watching yesterday, and I know everybody has seen it or seen the commercials, the DraftKings commercials with Kevin Hart and LeBron James. Not so much Kevin Hart, because you're a comedian. You got to get your money when you can get your money, right?
Also, Kevin Hart's in a million of these things.
Right, and we've been saying this about Kevin Hart for a very long time, but you never know as a comedian when your time is up. LeBron is a different story. LeBron is a billionaire. And I'm watching him do these stupid commercials
that they clearly just did in one take.
Right. For DraftKings, and Kevin Hart doing is making fun of LeBron's beard, and I'm small and you're big, and it's all funny. How much money, my wife was trying to figure out how much money did DraftKings have to pay LeBron for him to get out of bed as he's about to make another $50 million from the Lakers. Not that anybody says no to money, but I said, I don't know. I feel like it has to be about a 10 commercial package, $1 million a commercial. I don't think it's any less than 10 million. Why would LeBron waste his time doing that?
No,
is he a part owner of DraftKings? I don't know.
Well, there's no way he could get away with that.
Well, that's true.
But
not yet.
But
Jonte Porter.
7 figures. That I will say
easy seven figures.
7 figures to get him out of bed. How many commercials? Because there's only like 4 different versions of that commercial. I don't think they recorded 10.
I told her, I said the least I will go is for whatever package they agreed to. The least is $5 million. The least.
But it's probably more than just the commercials, right? They've got LeBron showing up to some card convention or something, or they've got LeBron doing like speaking engagements for DraftKings or something dumb like that.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say yes, the totality of the package for LeBron, hey now, is got to be Close. We're coming up on 8 figures.
Because why are you are LeBron James. Why do I have to wake up and get made fun of by the same jokes by Kevin Hart? Why, what would you have to, if I were LeBron James, you'd have to pay me $10 million.
By the way, where he's barely even acting too. There's one version of the commercial where Kevin Hart's clearly just improving and LeBron's just laughing the whole time, and they just use that as a take.
So
clearly half try it, putting in half effort too to these commercials.
I don't know. I'm saying 10 mil. 530. Is Philly still trusting the process, or are they ready to blow it up? And do they have anyone that would work for the Kings? Unfortunately, anyone that I would want on the Kings are all 2 guards. So I think that's a problem. We talked about Jared McCain last week, and I'd be interested in Jared McCain if this whole thing blew up. I'm not interested in Jared McCain on this version of the Kings, but I love Tyrese Maxey. I'd be interested in Tyrese Maxey too, but he's more of a 2 guard than a point guard. And I don't want to get too caught up on 2s versus 1s, but there's nobody I would want on the Sixers right now. Sure.
On this version of
the Kings.
Not even Kelly Oubre?
Can he play the 4?
Sometimes.
He's better than Dario Saric.
He can definitely play 3.
916-339-1140. Keep it going as we have grades. All right. We have grades from the B-Ball Index, one of our favorite accounts. B-Ball Index gave grades to each Sacramento King in 2025. Okay. The B-Ball Index gives out LeBron ratings as a letter grade for every NBA player. For example, Shea got an A+, to Johnson Long got an F. Kyle, just explain to the people, I'll let you nerd out for a second. Explain to the people who may not know what the LeBron rating is, because there's somebody driving around thinking, why can't I get away from this guy, LeBron?
LeBron rating is just like the basketball equivalent of WAR, I guess is the easiest way to explain
Wins
it.
above replacement.
Yes, from baseball. So 0 means that you're an average player at either as a whole, as a skill set. They also have a separate stat called LeBron WAR, which we're not going to get into today.
Not.
So this is essentially your offensive rating as a player, your defensive rating as a player. You add those 2 together, you get your LeBron rating, which is essentially like how many wins you're adding per, above a league average player, how many wins are you adding to your team? So this though is just, they do the same stat, except they just give it as a letter grade. So it factors in like, hey, we'll have one of these on the Kings, but it's like if you are an A on offense and an F on defense, you could be a B, you could be a C, you could be a D, just based on how much you're adding on both ends of the floor kind of situation. So it is essentially a stat that just gives you letter grades based on how much value you're adding relative to what you should be. Like if you're playing 12 minutes a game, it's not expecting you to have 20 points per game. It's just in the minutes you're on the floor, how much value are you adding?
Thank you very much, Kyle. And let's start here. Yeah, you really got after it, but I gave you the opportunity. You know what that's like. Did I ever tell you this story? And we'll get to it. It's a long segment, commercial free, and we do it for you at the top of every hour. I don't even know if I should be telling this story, but basically, so I'll do live hits for the River Cats, right? And live hits can be a little squirrely because a lot of people aren't that comfortable in front of the mic, right? So it kind of depends on how they're feeling. So whenever I show up, go into the production meeting, and I see, okay, cool, live hit somewhere. I know I got to go. I got to meet with them, double check, hey, is there anything you want me to ask? Get with our camera guy. All right, cool. So we had a live hit, okay, and I'm meeting. It's a wonderful older lady, okay, and whatever she was going to talk about, my worry and what we kind of always discuss is, hey, you don't want to be too short because the fan shots are going to be super long, so just let her go, right? Just let her go. Okay, cool. So I go up, talk to her, hey, My name is A Stiles. Going to be doing this for you. I'm going to ask you a question, and you can just go. So, like I said, older lady. She was a grandmother. Her daughter, who looked about my age, maybe even older than me, and just to give you a barometer on her age, and her granddaughter were there. The daughter comes over, right? And because, I'm a talker. So the daughter comes over, and she goes, Mom, when he says to go, just make sure you shut it down at some point. And I say, oh, don't worry. We'll have, a minute and a half, 2 minutes, whatever it is. We're good. We'll be fine. Don't worry. And she's like, okay, I'm just saying she can talk. All right. So daughter walks away, granddaughter walks away, and it's bottom of third, whatever, in the middle of the third or end of third, whenever it was. And I'm like, okay, it's time to do this hit. So again, this is a learning experience for me. So we get talking. I'm here with so-and-so, and we're at this table. Why don't you tell us a little bit about it? She grabs the mic, comes out of my hand, which is a no-no, right? Because now I'm just sitting there. I don't even know what to do with my hands. So behind her in the outfield, because it's the pitch clock, you can see the time running down. And whenever it gets to about 50, when we're doing promos, that's when it's starting to get squirrely. You cannot be at 30 is bad, right? 30 is they're getting in my ear, which doesn't happen very often. 40 is when things should be being done. I start the process at 50. So, and I told her that. She's got it, and she's going, Kyle. She's going. I got my hands. She is a grandmother, so I got to reach for the mic from the grandmother. I'm looking around. I start sweating. A minute goes by. A minute 20 goes by. I see the 50-second mark hit, and I'm trying to grab the mic. There was a slight little, I'm not done, continuing to go. Long story short, she went far too long. They had to cut her.
Oh,
yes.
Damn.
Because the dude was walking, you got Grant McCray walking to the plate.
They just had to cut her off in the middle.
In the middle. And she was still going. And I tried, So I don't even know how we got here, but.
Well, because me rambling about LeBron War.
And I got in after, and they said, yeah, can't give up that mic. And now every time there's a live hit, I tell them ahead of time. I say, hey, I'm going to hold on to the mic. It's nothing personal. We just had a situation not too long ago. I just had to tell you that story, Kyle.
I love it.
I didn't know what to do, man.
Shout out to Grandma, who
was going.
Just could not contain herself. She had, you know how they say your 15 minutes of fame? She had her 1 minute and 15 seconds of fame, and she was ready.
She was going,
ready for the moment.
And that is Kyle when we're talking about O LeBron, D LeBron, C LeBron, and B LeBron.
Yes.
But I opened the door.
One fish, two fish, red fish, blue fish.
I opened the door, and Kyle walked right on in. All right.
But now everyone understands exactly what we're talking about.
They probably forgot now.
Yeah.
After my now additional rambled story.
Just know they're grades, but it's not about total value. It's about how well you're doing relative to how long you're playing.
Okay, so this is all broken out. Great job by Kyle, kind of separating everything. So here are the young players from last season. They gave Isaac Jones a D-. Now, again, some of these guys, Isaac Jones and Devin Carter, didn't really get on the floor that much. So Isaac Jones got a D-. Devin Carter actually got a B+. All right. Now, let's get to the core players in the LeBron ratings. Zach LaVine, D+. Keegan Murray, C. Malik Monk, B+. Keon Ellis, A-. DeMar DeRozan, A-. Domantas Sabonis, A+. Because, and if you're wondering, well, how did that happen? Let's talk about Zach LaVine for a second. His O LeBron, an A-. His D LeBron, his defense, not even a D. That brother got an F.
A capital F.
That brother got an F. Okay.
And they're saying his defense was so bad that it overshadowed the good things he was doing on offense.
But can you help me out with this, Kyle? How does DeMar DeRozan have an A for offense and a D or an F in defense, but still get an A-?
They were just saying he was more valuable on offense relative to his defensive shortcomings.
It's some of this.
His defense was an F, but it's not a Zach LaVine F.
Okay. And on the other side is some of this Zach LaVine, and I don't know if LeBron gets into this much detail, but I know you've heard it and seen it. Zach LaVine being a bit of a bad team merchant. Is that some of this as well? He's an A-, but it's because he does it against the Hornets and the Jazz. Is that part of this?
Yes, that is part of the calculation. I don't know how much it's part of the calculation, but it does matter in determining your LeBron.
Keegan Murray got a D+ for his offensive game, his LeBron, and a B- for his defensive game, giving him a C. Malik Monk, A- when it came to offense, a D when it came to defense, landing him with a B+. Keon Ellis, offense, wow, a D+ for Keon, but his defense was so good, so strong of an A that Keon ends with an A-. We already talked about DeMar DeRozan and Domantas Sabonis. Who would have thought Domantas Sabonis would have a B in defense and an A in offense? That one is less surprising. But Domantas Sabonis, A+, by the way, when it comes to his LeBron rating. So I think it's all across the board. Don't want to get too even further into the weeds, but you have Zach LaVine at a D+. That's not going to work. And Keegan at a C. I mean, besides that, pretty decent grades, I would say. For as far as the incoming players, Dennis Schroder lands himself with a C+, A- on offense, a D- on defense. You know, that's kind of what I feel in general with Dennis Schroder when we have these conversations. It feels like Dennis Schroder is underrated offensively and overrated defensively. That's my take on how I think not even the Kings fans, but just in general. When I heard Scott Perry talking about him as a defender, and I'm not trying to get into the same trouble we got into last time when we talked about Rajon Rondo and then looked up that Rajon Rondo was an absolute stud muffin defensively. But I feel safer with this one. Dennis Schroder is not a slouch, but I do feel he's just a gamer. I just think Scott Perry wants gamers. He wants competitors.
Yeah, and if a player, again, this is the nice thing about these rankings, if a player's game is more defense-oriented, then it's going to weight that more heavily. So, like, for Dennis Schroder, it's like A-, D-, C+. That tells me his game is pretty balanced between offense and defense. Now, he's not a good defender, but he's also not, like, so good offensively that it doesn't matter, right? That's what they're saying about Malik Monk, for example. Malik Monk is a D defender, but he still gets a B+ because his game is completely offensive oriented.
Drew Eubanks, a B in total, a D- on offense, and an A on defense. You got to think that the Kings need more of that. All right, I'm not doing this. No,
Dario?
I'm done with the LeBron. I'm done with the LeBron rating. How in the world does Dario Saric have a better grade than Doug McDermott? They gave Doug McDermott an F in offense, an F on defense. Dario Saric got a D on offense and a C- on defense. Nope, segment's over. No, the segment's over.
It's not like Doug McDermott is an NBA player either.
No, come on now.
Doug McDermott
put up 35?
Allen, our entire joke about Doug McDermott is that he shoots threes and does nothing else.
Kyle.
He can't do anything else.
Come on now. Come on now, dude. There's no way.
They tried to play him in real minutes, and he just couldn't do anything.
All right. Let me see here. Outgoing players. I'm just going to read them anyway. Jonas Valanciunas, an A-. Good thing that the Kings got rid of him, huh? Offense, he got a B. Defense was a B+. Jake LaRavia was a B-. Offense, he got a C+. Defense, he got a B+. Trey Lyles movement got a B in total. On offense, he was a C+, and on defense, he was a B+. And this is fun. Players the Kings could add. Jonathan Kuminga was a B. Offense was a B+. Defense was a C-. Russell Westbrook. Somebody said on the chat, Russell must have gotten a high grade. Russell got a C+. Offense, he was a B+. Defense, the brother was a D. And Kyle Kuzma, all right, man. Kyle Kuzma got an F, okay? He got a straight-up F. He got an F in offense and an F in defense. That feels excessive.
It feels rude.
No, that feels excessive.
I tell you, Kyle Kuzma might have been the worst value contract in the league last year. Like, he was I cannot emphasize how bad he was on the Milwaukee Bucks. And probably the Wizards. I just didn't watch him on the Wizards. But on the Bucks, he was rough.
I'm still trying to figure out, I know, is there a world, just real quick, and I was never, look, I had said, hey, you might need to move on from Trey Lyles if you're trying to upgrade, whatever the case is. But now that I see who the other fours are and what they're doing, is there a world where they just move on from Dario Saric and bring back Trey Lyles? Could they do something like that?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it's not that hard to buy out Dario's contract if he wants to go play for Olympiacos.
I don't even know if Olympiacos is calling that, brother.
Fine, then the Guangdong Tigers or whatever.
There you go. Yeah, I was just thinking about that. If it's really this dire of a situation at the 4 and to a lesser degree at the 5, I mean, if you're not going to get Trey Lyles, how about this? If you're not going to get Trey Lyles, then Maxime Reynaud better get, and Isaac Jones. I think they both better get a heck of a lot of playing time, and you're trying to develop them.
Well, I think that's what it has to be right now, unless they're going to put Nick Clifford or DeMar DeRozan at the 4, which I saw Brendan.
Dario's going to get the nod, I think.
I don't know. I genuinely don't know. I have no idea. But if you're going to put a 3 who's barely a 3 at the 4 otherwise, which I saw Brennan Nunez co-signed DeRozan at the 4 at times this year. I was like, what are we doing right now? But
look, it's all fluid, man.
Either way, I feel better about the backup 5 being Eubanks, seeing that in this limited role last year between the Jazz and the Clippers, he was an A defender.
Yeah.
That makes me feel better about Eubanks slotted in as the backup 5, but otherwise, yeah, it's got to be Maxime or Isaac Jones, because if Dario Saric truly is as bad as everyone's saying he is the last 24 hours, then I guess there's no other choice but to have it be Max or Isaac Jones. What do you have to lose?
Yeah, and I've always been in the camp that you can do multiple things at one time. You don't have to necessarily or you don't have to fully tank in order to tank. You don't have to be all in and not develop any type of young talent. Maybe this is an area where Scott Perry is saying, hey, we're not going to have vets taking up the playing time everywhere. We already have that issue as far as the guards are concerned, and we might make it worse by bringing in Russell Westbrook. But as far as the front court is concerned, we're going to see what we have with Maxime, and we're going to see what we have with Isaac and go from there, especially where, and I know DeMar is going to get some front court action because he got some front court action last season, but at least it does allow us to say, all right, well, Maxime got decent minutes or Isaac got decent minutes. We're leaving here with something, and it could be Nick Clifford as well. But yeah, if that better be the plan, and it probably will be, it probably will work itself out if Dario Saric is what everybody is saying he is. But if there's any thought that it's not going to be Maxime or Isaac Jones getting, if somebody were to tell me, well, Maxime's going to spend a decent amount of time in Stockton, then I would say, well, then go get Trey Lyles. Go get Trey Lyles then, because the only reason I'm willing to handle what they're, go through with what the Kings have in the front court right now is that maybe the young guys can get some experience heading into, the seasons after this one. The four-letter network, ESPN, has teams most likely to tumble, so we break those down. Do not move. Also, continuing to read your text. What would you do if you woke up today and you were Scott Perry? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Future Ford.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. For your Wednesday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies. Temperatures this afternoon close to what is normal for this time of year as we wrap up the final days of August. Expect daytime highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
It's the final days of Summer Closeout 25 at your Future Ford dealers. Get closeout pricing on F-150, Bronco, Explorer, Mach-E, and more. But don't wait. It all ends Monday at Future Ford Lincoln in the Roseville Auto Mall and Future Ford of Sacramento at I-80 in Madison.
Mike Rowe here with a quick question. Have you noticed cracks in your drywall, chimney, or exterior walls? I hope not, because if you have, they could be indications that you've got a much bigger problem with your foundation. That's where Groundworks comes in. They can honestly assess your situation and create a plan to stabilize your foundation. Schedule your free inspection at groundworks.com/row. And while you're there, check out my latest dirty job. It's a good one.
Licensed in all states where work is performed. See website for details.
Hello, Sacramento. I'm Emran Pilati, owner of True Sports Cards and Collectible Store here in Rockland, California, and the host of the True Sports Cards Show that airs right here on Sactown Sports 1140 every Saturday from 10 to 11 a.m., where we discuss the latest trends, hottest products, and deliver exclusive interviews with other industry leaders. And don't forget to visit our shop, True Sports Cards, at 6661 Stanford Ranch Road in Rockland and see what we have for all your sports card and memorabilia needs.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal. You should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now. Thunder, feel the thunder.
It's the energy all around you.
Lightning and the thunder.
The thrill of the moments to come. The flash of lights. The rush of pure exhilaration.
Thunder.
The roar of the crowd. See it, hear it, feel it.
Thunder, feel the thunder. Lightning and the thunder.
Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Feel the thunder.
Just announced, Stockton Honda has been named #1 of California's best car dealers in 2025 by USA Today and Statista. This prestigious award is based on thousands of customer reviews and recommendations, ranking dealerships for service, value, and satisfaction. Out of hundreds evaluated, Stockton Honda is proud to be #1, recognized for all-around excellence and commitment to our customers. Visit Stockton Honda, where reputation meets the road.
Anytime, anywhere, it's all here. StocktonHonda.com.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sactown Sports app.
The 916 wants to know, taking you up to 2 p.m. 916 wants to know, Kyle, I'm assuming you found it. 916, of course, wants to know what was De'Aaron Fox's LeBron rating last season.
His LeBron grade was an A-, had an A in the O LeBron category and a D- in the D LeBron category. Just real quick, if anyone else is curious, Kevin Herter was a C across the board. C for Kevin Herter.
Happy birthday, Kevin.
Yeah, happy birthday. You were a perfectly average player across the board. So congratulations.
I'm sorry. Just real quick, how hard would it be for you to find his rating from the previous season?
I can give you every year of his career.
Because if he was a C last season, I would assume, like I said, this LeBron rating, these new stats, and Kyle has a smirk. So
okay, so last year he was a C across the board. In 2024, he was a B plus with a B minus O LeBron and an A minus D LeBron.
Yeah, this thing is cooked.
And then his Beam Team season, he was an A minus with an A minus O LeBron and a C plus D LeBron.
This thing makes absolutely no sense. 0 cents. 0, Kyle. This is what you new kids. These are the new stats, huh?
No, this is what the nerds love. Even the kids don't read these days. They just chat GPT things. Me, I'm all about little elbow grease, using your mind.
Oh, changing the oil. I changed my own oil. That's right.
Just while we're on the topic, I don't know how to do anything in a car. Like I can put coolant in it, but other than that, I've got to take it to someone else. My grandpa was big into cars, big into fixing things. He fixed airplanes in the Air Force. Apple fell completely far from the tree for me.
So what happened was, my dad is city slicker from Chicago. Yeah, he can't be bothered, right? Like I said, my wife from very, very small town in Pennsylvania. Her dad is doing the new deck. Right, all this stuff. So, and he's not, one of these kind of jerks or whatever. Hey, you need to be a man, whatever it is. But I just kind of felt that. So I'm not going to say I'm any more or, I'm this crazy burly man now. But because my father-in-law is very much a do-it-himself type of dude, I had to figure it out. Right. So car-wise, I don't know a ton, but stuff around the house in general, things that if you were to ask Allen 15 years ago would probably, or if you had asked my father, I'm just calling somebody. Now no. I'll just put it together myself. I used to be, I change a light and I'm walking around. Hey, I just changed that light. But now, my wife, oh yeah, my dad just is helping to redo the kitchen and a bunch of crazy stuff. And I'm not
big
doing
project.
Exactly. So when we got the condo in Alameda, I thought it was my perfect opportunity. My buddy's in construction. So, he helped me get it going. But yeah, I put down the flooring myself. We had to tear up the carpet, all that. And it does make you feel good about it. Now, years later, I'm putting down that mulch outside, so I stopped getting letters, and I had to do it because my father-in-law is kind of one-upping me, man, and I wanted him to feel like, all right, at least my son-in-law can do this and that. But if that didn't happen, I probably would be more in your camp.
I guess I understand not wanting to be one-upped and kind of like that impression of like, well, if your dad can do it, then I, as your husband,
she never said anything. You don't have to.
No, you're just internalizing.
Yeah, I'm just okay. Well, I can do that. You know what I mean? And even just the little things, right? That came out. We had a baby shower that came out, and I like a clean car.
He said that.
Oh yeah. No. And then we were going to get the car cleaned, right? Or we were going to wash the car, and he said, "Yeah, I always just wash the car. I just figure I'd save the money." While we're in the car wash compartments getting it washed, yeah, I do too. I just in this quick situation, I grew up washing. I washed the car with my dad too. But just
so
you're
lying.
No, I'm not lying. I did, but how many times have I washed this car? I'm going to start washing it now.
So very little.
Very little.
But
I just go out. I go get my car wash. But yeah, I wash it myself.
to your point about being one up, though, like if you're trying to compete with a man of a generation above you who comes from a place where they call people the big Amish, I don't know if you're really.
No, I'm just trying to at least get. I'm trying to get closer. I'm not going to get there.
It's a losing battle for you.
It
Alan.
is a losing battle, but
it's a battle in your mind that you're also losing.
At least he knows. All right, this guy. At least this guy washes his car.
At least this guy puts mulch down in the yard.
And I send pictures. You see what I just did? I'm grilling. I'm out here grilling.
Okay, but that's the fun dad thing. Like, you get to grill, but you also have to put in tiles and flooring.
Just pull these weeds. You see this? I just sent it to him with no caption. Just weeds. Just a picture of pulled weeds in the trash.
Does he respond?
No. See this? Look what I did this morning. Before work. You're retired. I did this before work. Shout out to my father-in-law. 916-339.
Your father-in-law who's more of a man than you.
Yeah. So what? 916-339-1140. There are teams and a forecast that ESPN put out there, and they have teams they think are going to improve and teams that they think are going to tumble. And it kind of goes along with what Vegas thinks as well. They believe that the Spurs and the Hawks are going to be much better. The Philadelphia 76ers are going to be much better. And this is in order, by the way. The Orlando Magic are going to be much better. The Minnesota Timberwolves are going to be a little bit better. And the Houston Rockets, not as good as you think. Not as good as you think. This is the breakdown. The season is less than 2 months away, and excitement is already building for what should be another season full of shakeups as the league prepares for the ripple effect of stars like Kevin Durant, Miles Turner, Kristaps Porzingis. I don't know why he's in that conversation with the rest of them. On new squads, other teams like the Boston Celtics and Indiana Pacers are preparing for a season without their stars. Could these new faces in places and injuries make way for an unexpected NBA champion? ESPN summer forecast panel made up of our NBA insiders answers the NBA's biggest question heading into the 2025-2026 season, which include which team is expected to make a turnaround, which stars are likely to make an exit from the current team, and if we'll have a new team crowned for the 8th straight season. Here's the math. A first-place vote received 5 points. A second-place vote received 3 points. A third-place vote received 1. So, yeah, the Spurs and the Hawks at 55 points, man. The 76ers at 49. That's injury, though. And the Magic, people love Desmond Bane. Okay? People really do love Desmond Bane. The Minnesota Timberwolves, a team that they're, more so trying to figure out. All right. And they have some votes for the next superstar to request a trade as well. Number 1, Zion. Number 2, Giannis. Number 3, LeBron James. Number 4, Ja Morant. And number 5, Trae Young. Which superstar injury will have the biggest impact in the East? Jason Tatum, Tyrese Halliburton, and Joel Embiid got 1 vote because he has to, even though I think he's healthy right now.
No. They're like breaking his hip to fix his knee. He is not healthy.
Will we get a different championship for the 8th straight season? 15 votes yes, 11 votes no, and I would assume so that's 11 votes that's 11 votes that the Thunder are going to repeat, pretty much.
That seems kind of unclear, because if they said 8th unique champion, that means it could be any of the 7 teams before?
I think so.
So
that's how
they're
I
saying
read
it could be the Bucks,
that's how I
the
read
Nuggets,
it. Yeah.
and the Thunder?
Yeah. Or the Warriors.
Or the Warriors or Toronto.
Yeah. Which team is most likely to make a big move before the trade deadline? 1, the Warriors. 2, the Lakers. 3, the Cavs. And the Pelicans. That must be moving. Pelicans, that's just moving Zion. That's not getting better. That's getting worse.
What other move is there?
Number 4, the 76ers. Number 5, the Memphis Grizzlies. So, no, Sacramento just not in there anywhere.
Just forgotten about.
Yeah, just we don't know because we don't know where you want them to go, Allen. Where you want them to go.
And by the way, anything that they could do on that list, It's not making as much of an impact as the other names, right?
Yeah.
Oh, they might make a big move at the deadline by trading away DeMar DeRozan.
That's the biggest name that I don't know. I feel like that could have got a mention, but it didn't. All right, need you to help me with my fantasy team. That's coming up right after this in about 2 minutes. We are 15 or about 20 minutes away from those Justin Moore tickets coming up at 1 o'clock. If you're on the Sacktown Sports app, might want to switch on over. Don't move. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
What's up? I'm Phil Briggs, here for my friends at Navy Federal Credit Union. Whether you're looking to buy a new or used car, or maybe just want to refinance your current loan, Navy Federal Credit Union has great rates on auto loans. You can apply via their mobile app or online, and in most cases, get a decision in seconds. So get a great car and great rates with Navy Federal Credit Union. Credit and collateral subject to approval, rates subject to change, and are based on credit worthiness. Navy Federal is insured by NCUA, and you can learn more at NavyFederal.org/auto.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
I'm with Vince Bloom, General Manager and Big Guy at Folsom Lake Dodge.
I think you mean the Summer Deal Guy.
Vince, the Summer Deal Guy. And why's that, Vince?
Because summertime means the deals are heating up at Folsom Lake Dodge. I'm talking hot deals you don't want to miss.
I know what you mean. During the Make This the Summer event at Folsom Lake Dodge, I see you can save over $15,000 off a new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4. Over $15,000.
But that's not the only summer deal at Folsom Lake Dodge.
Far from it. I see the Summer Deal Guy is also offering deals on all their Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram vehicles.
I am.
Hot summer deals on everything? This really is the summer.
Exactly.
Save over $15,000 off a new 2025 Ram 1500 Bighorn Crew Cab 4x4. At Folsom Lake Dodge.
In the Folsom Auto Mall and online at FolsomLakeDodge.com.
Discount includes 1,000 West BC SFS retail bonus cash, 1,000 West BC SFS bonus cash, national snackable 20% below MSRP, retail discount $59.91. One at this net discount. Sample VIN SN 772855 expires 9/2/25.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my site softer?
Can I make my site firmer?
Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. Your Sleep Number setting. It's the Sleep Number biggest sale of the year. All beds on sale up to 50% off the limited edition smart bed. Plus free premium delivery with any smart bed and adjustable base. Ends Labor Day. All Sleep Number smart beds offer temperature solutions for your best sleep. Check it out at a Sleep Number store or sleepnumber.com today.
Save big during Labor Day at Lowe's. Get up to 40% off select major appliances. Plus, buy more to get up to an additional 20% off. Shop even more savings with 3 Stay Green 1 cubic foot vegetable and flower garden soil bags for $10. This Labor Day, take care of your home for less at Lowe's. We help, you save. Valid through 9/3. Soil offer excludes Alaska and Hawaii. Selection varies by location. Select locations only. While supplies last. See Lowe's.com for more details.
Brought to you by Xfinity. Sports are unpredictable. The price of your internet shouldn't be. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One consistent internet price for 5 years with no annual contracts. Guaranteed.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
I woke up. Great song. 916.
There's also no clean version they
Yeah,
can make that would make it okay to play this song.
916-339-1140. You know what, Kyle? I was talking about being a man before the break and the whole father-in-law thing. And since he's a pretty manly man as far as hey, we just redid the deck. You know what I mean? It's changing oil, a bunch of stuff. You know, one thing I'm terrible at, and I don't know if I'm the only one, I am really bad at reading potential handshake vibes. When I think someone's going to go firm, I go firm and they're not as firm. When I think someone is going to be less firm, I go in less firm and they crush me. And I don't know how to get better at that. I don't know if it's a look in somebody's eyes. I feel like it's the same. It's a cousin of me always picking the wrong grocery store line. It's just certain things I'm good at, certain things you're just born with. It's like the ability to rebound. Certain things you're just born with, certain things you're not, but you can improve. And I'm trying to improve on reading not just men, but whoever I'm shaking hands with, because there's some ladies out there that'll give you a firm one too. Reading the situation, and sometimes I'll go firm, and I feel bad. You know what I mean? I feel like I'm overcompensating, whatever it is. I'm just really bad at reading the handshake thing, man.
So this is a different handshake problem than I thought you were going with, because most people, your problem is how firm of a handshake to go for. Usually the problem is, are we doing the dap? Are we doing the handshake? Are we doing the whatever?
That's awkward too, but I just power through that type of stuff. By the way, for that stuff, just make a decision, right? Ever since COVID, if you got your hand out, unless they truly, for whatever reason, don't want to shake hands, somebody will make a decision, but don't switch too soon. That's what I do. If I'm going in for the dap, or if I'm going in for the pound, I just leave it. And even if their hand is open, they'll go to you. They'll switch to you. That's what happens.
I see what you're saying. So that
just got to commit.
Just commit either way. It'll work itself out. But this one, you're talking about how to try and read people on the strength of their hit.
Yes.
Does this have to do with your father-in-law at all?
No.
Okay, this is just a man thing.
And he is not that firm of a shaker. And I'm assuming when I met him those 10 years ago, I went pretty firm, because that's what, you watch movies and you got to go firm. And now I got two girls, right? One girl here, one on the way. I got to decide, how firm do I want to be? The overcompensating firm dad handshake, or am I the cool dad handshake? What do I do?
I don't have an answer for you. Those are deep philosophical questions you have to ask yourself.
But I meet people all the time at River Cats, and I would say my batting average for guessing the correct firmness, it's bad, Kyle. I'm bad at guessing.
You're shooting like Kevin Herter last season.
Right, yeah. It's bad, man. And does anybody else have this problem?
It seems like a lot of people do. I would imagine this is not an everyone complains about handshakes and grips, but I would imagine this is a very common problem. But you have to do it all the time, because your job is a lot of the time A, schmoozing, or B, meeting people who are going to do River Cats hits.
Yeah, and Raptors fanatic is saying fist bump is safer, but there are some people that I'm meeting that I'm not fist bumping. You know what I mean?
Allen's schmoozing with some big people.
I'm not even, even if they're here and they're celebrating a really good cause, or whatever, things like that, and they're the CEO or somebody. Dusty's out here throwing out first pitch. I'm not fist bumping Dusty. I'm not doing that.
So you dapping him up?
I fist bump when I can, but sometimes you can't do it. Dusty, I'm just reading him. What do you want to do here, Dusty? You know what I mean? What do you want to do?
Look, I know the joke is there, and I'm going to take it. It's the easiest joke in the world. But if it's Dusty Baker, you got to do a little high five, right?
Yeah. Can you help me out, people, before we hit the 1 o'clock hour tomorrow night at an unnamed restaurant that is a classic and has really good Southwestern egg rolls? I am embarking on my first fantasy league, okay, with the Cat Crew, which is my coworkers from the River Cats, and I have first pick. Kyle, I've been doing my research. Bijan or Jamar Chase. Where are you thinking? Because more importantly, I don't know what to do with the second pick. But I was watching Field Yates this morning. He said he'd go with Bijan over Jamar Chase. I feel like I just don't want to try to be the smartest guy in the room. If Jamar, God forbid, not for my fantasy team, but in general, God forbid, goes down with an injury, at least people would say, well, that was the obvious pick, right? If I go Bijan and Penix is trash or whatever it is, then people would say Jamar Chase was right there. Just do the easy thing.
I mean, here's the thing with Bijan, though. I don't know, Bijan? I guess it's Bijan. Anyways, the thing you should do with him is don't worry about the quarterback situation. That dude put up insane fantasy numbers with Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heineke, right? Like, that dude is going to get his own. But you could say the same for Jamar Chase. I think it's just a matter of which one's going to stay healthy, because they're both going to cook as long as they're healthy. That's why the first pick is, like, cursed every year in people's minds, because it's like Jonathan Taylor got hurt. Christian McCaffrey got hurt last year. Le'Veon Bell sat out an entire season when everyone picked him first in fantasy. So I think the question you should ask yourself is, which one is not going to get hurt?
Thank you, Kyle. I guess I'll just flip a coin.
Well, I mean, I was going to be even less help, because I was going to say you should probably take Saquon first.
That he's one to avoid. Okay. They're saying that he's the one to avoid. All right. The first pick is what it is. I don't know what to do, because now I'll have the last pick in the second round.
So how many people in your league? 12? 10?
Oh, there's a lot of us. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there's a lot of us. And I don't know what to do in that situation. You just go another receiver.
So what's the scoring system like in your league?
What is it? PPG?
What? Points per what? To say, what's half PPR, full PPR?
Yeah, there it is. It's one of those.
That's kind of makes a big difference.
Just help me out. It's a normal one.
I make sure you get running backs early, because there's a lot of wide receivers late in the draft this year. Okay. So make sure you get at least 2 running backs with your first 3 picks.
Make sure you get,
unless you take Jamar Chase, then whatever, it's fine, because Jamar Chase is going to be playing every week for you anyways.
Okay.
The trick also this year is that there's a lot of receivers that are either going to be suspended or hurt but are coming back. So do you take their replacement, or do you take them and just stash them on your team? Niners, do you take Ricky Pearsall or Brandon Ayuk? Mm-hmm. If you're the Tampa Bay, do you take Igbuka or do you take Chris Godwin? If you're the Vikings, do you take Jordan Addison, who's suspended, or do you take Adam Thielen?
Adam Thielen, he just got traded.
Exactly. He's going back. If you Kansas City, Rashee Rice just got a 6-game suspension. You drafting Rashee Rice, or are you taking his replacement, Xavier Worthy?
This is why I stick to my daily. This is why I stick to my daily, but they wanted me to be in it. I'm in it. I have no clue what I'm doing. I will be first place until the bye weeks start happening, but it'll be a fun ride. Some texts trying to help me a little bit. This one is about the handshakes. I'm a firm handshaker no matter what, from the 209. More often than not, I'm firmer than the other person. So even if I'm low on the batting average, I stick to my firmness every time. That's kind of where I'm at, 209. I've been going firm, and I'm sorry if you weren't ready for my firmness.
But now you have to ask yourself a new question as a dad. Do you want to be the dad with the firm handshake?
I think it's just going to be a respectful firm. It's not going to be, if my handshake were a pickup truck, It's not going to be the super lifted pickup truck. It's nice. It's like, back in the day, it's a nice F-150. It's clean because I wash it myself. It's got a nice package on it. It's leather, but it's not super lifted. It's not overcompensating.
I have a bad joke I'll tell you during the break, but
it's right. It's there. You feel me? Because some of these guys, it's not going to take much. I'm walking around some of these little league heights. These little leaguers run around 5'8", 5'10". It's going to be tough.
What's going to happen once your softball duo is going to make it to travel ball 12U, and all these players on the team are going to be your same height?
I'm looking up, what's up, young man? Like, come on now. I got it, but I just got to wear it. I can't now try to get him back with a firm handshake.
Well, I guess it's different with kids, because you're going to be meeting a lot of dads coming up soon, some moms, and you're going to have to decide.
I'm going to talk to them.
Yeah.
I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to find the other under 6 foot father with daughters and say, hey, how did you approach this? How did you approach this? The 209 or the 916 says McCaffrey is always off my board. Another 916, I always try to grab an elite tight end early. All right. Thank you for the help. Kyle didn't really help, but you did, texters, and I think I'm going to be in a perfect position to do what I always do and be in first place until the bye weeks. When we return, you just woke up this morning and you are Scott Perry. What is the first thing that you do? Also, Justin Moore ticket giveaway when we return. Don't move. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Hey, Sacramento homeowners, imagine the coolest, most comfortable summer in 30 years, leaving air conditioning giants drowning in overstock. That's your golden ticket to massive savings right now at Sierra Pacific. We've forged powerhouse partnerships with the world's top manufacturers. They trust us for flawless installations, unbeatable service, and our massive reach across Sacramento to move their inventory fast. In return, exclusive, jaw-dropping discounts just for you. Upgrade your home with premium systems at rock-bottom prices, installed by the region's elite craftsmen, and backed by ironclad warranties and legendary support. Plus, snag huge tax credits and SMUD rebates to slash costs even further. This inventory clearing bonanza won't last. Seize it today. Call Sierra Pacific for your free in-home consultation and discover the perfect system for your ultimate comfort. Dial 916-638-0543 now or head to sierrapacifichome.com. Don't miss out. Your cooler, cozier home awaits.
Sierra Pacific Solar Heating and Air. The guys in the big red trucks.
Time now for your Sacktown Sports 49ers report, brought to you by Kia of Vacaville, conveniently located beside the Vacaville outlets. The Niners finished preseason play on Saturday with a 30-23 win over San Diego. Curtis Robinson had a 32-yard interception return for the go-ahead touchdown, and Tariq Owens, son of Terrell Owens, caught a touchdown pass. The 49ers start for real a week from Sunday. They're in Seattle. Listen all season long to 49er football right here on Sacktown Sports 1140.
Football season is here at Kia of Vacaville. You can score big in a new 2025 Kia Niro LX with up to 53 MPG combined at Kia of Vacaville. Perfect for road trips, tailgates, and cruising to Levi Stadium in style and comfort. But don't wait. Inventory is limited at Kia of Vacaville, and these deals won't last long. Visit KiaVacaville.com or stop by right next to the Vacaville outlets for friendly service, easy shopping, and unbeatable value. All in one stop. Kia of Vacaville, where the adventure begins.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Locash, Vincent Mason, and Abriana. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Hey, it's Carmichael Dave here for Capital Casino, Sacramento's #1 poker room, inviting you to come join them every Wednesday for their midweek madness drawing, giving away $2,000 in total cash starting at 6 p.m. It's a safe and friendly environment, plenty of well-lit parking parking available, and it's conveniently located right there in downtown Sacramento. And remember, best food, best service, best games, 411 North 16th Street in downtown Sacramento. For more information, log on to capital-casino.com and gamble responsibly. 1-800-GAMBLER.
Labor Day savings are on at Elk Grove Chevy with $10,500 off MSRP. Every new 2025 Silverado 1500 5.3 liter after all rebates. And Elk Grove Chevy has one of the largest selections in the Sacramento area. $10,500 off new Silverado exclusively at the Elk Grove Chevy Silverado Supercenter. Now that's big, huge. See them all at MegaChevy.com. Together, let's drive.
Excludes work parking, ZR2, not trading 2011 Chevy car truck. Not available with special financing, lease, and some other offers.
Made a great deal at Mega. Attention taxpayers. If you owe $5,000 or more and have missed another tax deadline, you're officially on the IRS's radar. The IRS has resumed aggressive collections. That means wage garnishments, bank levies, even seizures of your home, car, or retirement accounts. If you owe $5,000 or more and missed the deadline, you're stacking new debt on top of what you already owe. Call Priority Tax Relief now. Their experts fight back fast and are saving their clients millions in tax debt every month.
I owed over $50,000. And they settled it for pennies on the dollar. These guys are as legit as they come.
After speaking on my behalf with the IRS, my entire debt of $25,000 will be eliminated.
Whether you've received collection letters or you're already facing liens and garnishments, call for your free consultation. There are no upfront fees. Priority Tax Relief. Let's make your taxes our priority. Call 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. 800-406-1584. Priority Tax Relief.
KHD1 Sacramento, KYMX HD3 Sacramento.
From the Power Business Technology Toshiba Studios.
Sacktown Sports 1140.
It's Allen Stiles on Sacktown Sports.
It is time. Win a pair of tickets to see Justin Moore at Hard Rock Live on October 16th. Kyle, it's your chance. Justin Moore is making his way to Hard Rock Live on October 16th. We've got a pair of tickets to see him live. We're looking for lucky caller number
4.
Caller number 4. Caller number 4. Caller number 4 at 916-339-1140, 916-339-1140 to score our pair of tickets to the show, 916-339-1140. Looking for caller number 4. Oh, yeah. 916-339-1140. The callers are coming in. Kyle is going to handle that winner. You will have more chances as well to win throughout the rest of the week. Shout out to Hard Rock Live. Justin Moore, your opportunity to see him and grab some ribeye. Be a man. After you wash your car, give a firm handshake and change your oil. It's the only way you can get to see Justin Moore. 916-339-1140. Kyle is finding that winner right now. So you wake up this morning and you're Scott Perry. What do you do first? Kyle said that he would sign Keegan Murray. Is there anybody out there that might think about convincing Keon to stay? If you think, right, or extending Keon, if you think, and I believe you couldn't do that today. I believe you have to wait till the new year, sometime in the new year. So maybe that gets eliminated. But from what the options currently are, I go on to continue with what I would do, and what I would do is talk to DeMar DeRozan. DeMar DeRozan and his usage. It's a problem, right? Now, it was a necessary problem, if you will, last season, because last season wasn't a real season. Last season was just all over the place, man. Literally all over the place. Different coaches, different players and not just your normal trades. We're talking losing your franchise guy in a hurry, quick, fast, and in a hurry. So last season, it's hard to just say, hey, you were legitimately the issue, but things should be a little bit clearer now, right? Things should be a little bit clearer now for the Kings and where they want to go this season. And that's why I would have that conversation with DeMar DeRozan and say, hey, this isn't necessarily about how much you're shooting, but let's just be clear here on, and I have this based on actual field goal attempts. We have this is the total, right? So you can do total and you can do per game. So total, DeMar DeRozan comes in at 12 for most field goal attempts. Shea is 1, Anthony Edwards is 2, Jason Tatum is 3, Cade Cunningham is 4, Jalen Green is 5, Devin Booker, hey, on the same team now, is 6, Tyler Hero 7, Trae Young actually 8, Nikola Jokic 9, Donovan Mitchell 10, Giannis 11, DeMar DeRozan 12, James Harden 13, LeBron James 14, Steph Curry 15, Zach LaVine 16. So they're both in the top 16 last season, but that's total. Now let's do per game. Now per game, they seem to drop a little bit. Okay, field goal attempts per game. You have DeMar DeRozan at 21 and Zach LaVine at 26. So they're in the top 26 per game. They're in the top 16 total. Now, Zach LaVine was still getting his, and we looked it up. He's pretty much the same person on the Kings as he was on the Bulls. So that hasn't changed a ton. But so maybe it's less about getting Zach LaVine more looks, and that's sort of how we framed it earlier today. But it's not really about getting Zach LaVine more looks. It's more so about an offense that represents where we're currently at in the NBA. And, you know, it depends, right? Here's the difference. You look at the guys that have these field goal attempts, and outside of Shea, right? So you look at the guys that have these field goal attempts, okay, and they are, let's see, the top 26. So you have the top 26 in field goal attempts. And where we're at now and how important the three ball is, now let's see how many of those guys have the top field goal attempts and are also nowhere to be found when it comes to top 3-point attempts. Now, this could get squirrely. I'm doing it live. So out of that top 26 that we talked about, Steph Curry is in there, of course, 11.2 a game, which is insane. Anthony Edwards at 10.3. Jason Tatum at 10.1. Then you get the randoms, right? The merchants, Malik Beasley, Jordan Poole, Derek White, Dame Lillard. And after that, Donovan Mitchell is there. Tyler Hero, I believe, was there as well. Tyler Hero is there. James Harden is there. Trae Young is there. Jalen Green is there. Then you get a couple others, Kobe White, Peyton. And to close it out, 20, Devin Booker is there. Zach LaVine is there as well. So out of those, the top 26, about half of the guys that shoot the most threes also have the most field goal attempts. So it's one thing to have the most field goal attempts. And then besides that, you have your Giannis's, your LeBrons, guys that just don't really count. Shea. So out of those players, you have somebody taking and we talked about this with just the 2-point attempts in total, and I'm going to go to it now. So 2-point attempts, Giannis number 1, because he's Giannis. Shea at number 2. Cade Cunningham at 3, but, Cade is facilitating, and he's not Shea, but he's going to be an MVP candidate. Then you have Jokic. He's Jokic, a big. Alperen Şengün, a big. And at number 6, DeMar DeRozan. Funny enough, at number 8, it's De'Aaron Fox. And we only saw about 30 games, but it probably wasn't going to work. But I still would have liked to fully see it. But the spacing was going to be an issue on that team. But I digress. DeMar DeRozan, outside of a bunch of bigs and MVP candidates, then it's DeMar DeRozan at number 6. Most 2-point attempts, and he's number 21 in most field goal attempts. It's not how basketball works anymore. That's the problem. It's not about DeMar DeRozan. You could change his name to anybody. The guys that are not bigs doing that are MVP candidates. So if you were not an MVP candidate, and after that, Franz Wagner, number 7, kind of a hybrid big. De'Aaron Fox. I don't love that from De'Aaron Fox. We know what he does. After that, LeBron, Jalen Brunson, MVP candidate. Karl Anthony Towns, big and an MVP candidate. Kevin Durant, Jaylen Brown, Finals MVP. And after that, we're at 15. We're at 14 with Scotty Barnes and Jalen Williams, Ivica Zubac. More bigs and really, really elite players. So maybe I'm looking at this the wrong way, and maybe you can say, well, Allen, doesn't that mean that DeMar DeRozan is an elite player? But again, if you are following along our cross-referencing, Jaylen Brown is not taking the most shots on his team, or Scotty Barnes is not taking the most shots on his team. Jalen Williams is not taking the most shots on his team. Zubac is not taking the most shots on his team. So there's some push and pull here. He just checks too many of the boxes that more so represent a time that no longer seems to be how the NBA is getting down. That's what it is with DeMar, and it's just something that they're going to have to figure out. So if I woke up today and I found out that I was Scott Perry, I'm giving DeMar a call, and maybe the call has already happened. By the way, the call could have happened, and DeMar, hey, I hear you. I want to win games. So the call could have already happened. But assuming it hasn't happened, that's the first thing I would do.
So I guess we never established, is this a Freaky Friday situation where Scott Perry wakes up and he's you?
No.
It's just you're waking up as Scott Perry.
I hope not.
And that's what's most important here.
Yes,
more than your
right.
DeMar DeRozan analysis and shot per game numbers. It's just, are we doing a Freaky Friday?
We are not doing that, no.
Okay. Well, I think your assessment is correct, and we've been talking about this pretty much all summer, is the idea that DeMar DeRozan can only get you so far in the modern NBA, not because he is not an excellent player, but because it is a ball-dominant style of offense that doesn't generate enough points and enough efficient scoring to get you above the teams that have a player better than DeMar DeRozan. Because while DeMar DeRozan's an excellent player, his best years were when he was one of the 8 to 15 best players in the sport.
Yeah.
And ever since he's been a top 30 player in the sport, his teams have only been, to the playoffs twice since he left Toronto in 2018. And even in those 2 playoff appearances, they didn't win a playoff series. So it's a different way of saying the same things that we were saying before. And also he's on a team that looks completely different than the one he originally joined last July, with De'Aaron Fox, Mike Brown, and Monty McNair, right. All of which have been replaced by Zach LaVine, Doug Christie, and Scott Perry.
Yeah. So that's who it is. That's who it is for me. I guess honorable mention. I think I would have somewhat of a conversation with Zach LaVine. And that conversation is essentially, hey, I know there's a bunch of talk out there. I know the podcast, and he definitely already had this conversation, but the podcast was the podcast. We're trying to put you in a good position. It just kind of is what it is there. Not that I didn't mean it, but I didn't mean it in that way. referencing what Scott Perry and BJ Armstrong had to say about Zach LaVine when they were, don't forget my podcast, doing their podcast, and they were not running the Kings from the front office perspective quite yet. But I think my question to Zach LaVine would be, I mean, how do we put you in the best position to succeed? You're coming off a crazy season. Do we think this is who you are? Is there another gear that you can get to? You know, those are the conversations, these guys that if we're going to do the Bulls thing, and I have no choice, if I'm Scott Perry and I have no choice but to do the Bulls thing, how do we at least try to manipulate it in some way? From a point guard perspective, and I know we did this a couple of weeks ago, Kyle, the different types of point guards. Just from the eye test, I'm not going to ask you to look it up, but just from the eye test, whenever I see Lonzo, he's running a fast break, but I guess I'm trying to figure out how similar Lonzo and Dennis Schroder are as point guards. And, you know, if we're really trying to replicate that one good season that they had, how similar they are from the point guard position.
Well, I've still got B-ball index up here, so I can tell you exactly what they list him as. You know what's funny, actually, is Lonzo Ball, they just skipped from 2022 to 2025. Like his 2 seasons just didn't exist.
Didn't happen.
So pre his knee exploding, they listed him as a primary ball handler. But last year they listed him as a movement shooter. Which I didn't watch enough Bulls to know.
Well, that doesn't matter because LeBron. That doesn't matter because DeRozan wasn't there.
Yeah, and they also list him, Dennis Schroder, as a shot creator last year, but he's gone back and forth between shot creator and primary ball handler, depending on situation that he's been in.
Okay.
So they say stylistically they've never been quite the same, other than just being traditional pass first point guards or
Right.
ball handling point guards.
And you get to that point, and Lonzo was available. But do you think that there was a point where Scott Perry said, I literally can't bring in Lonzo?
I mean, you were trying to bring in Kobe White.
I'm not saying me. I'm saying did Scott Perry think, I just can't do it? I cannot do it.
It depends how much he actually wants to, because like he's fielding the Sacramento Bulls right now. Now, granted, they were all acquired before he took the job.
But I'm saying DeMar DeRozan has said time and time again, when we had Lonzo, we were cooking. Lonzo was available, but Scott Perry said, yeah, that's the one.
That's
the one move. Even Giddey would be different, right? Or even kind of Kobe White. But I can't do, and they wouldn't need Vucevic, but I can't do Vucevic, and I cannot do Lonzo.
You know what's actually funny is that they could have just done the straight up swap. Before they traded Saric, they could have done the straight up swap of Lonzo Ball for Valanciunas, which I think would have been a panned trade because it would have reassembled the Bulls completely in their purest form in Sacramento. But
just lean into it at this point.
Yeah, it was actually a pretty easy possibility given the decisions they made to bring in Dennis Schroder. Like, I don't know how much better of a point guard Dennis Schroder is than Lonzo Ball. I mean, this is Lonzo Ball post his knees exploding.
Right. At this point, it's just durability.
Yeah, if you had asked me years ago, I think I would have had a different opinion about Lonzo Ball than I do now. I just don't know what he is at this point.
You literally can't bring Lonzo Ball on. You know what? You could have brought Lonzo Ball on if you really wanted Russell Westbrook the way that we know that you wanted Russell Westbrook. That kind of would have worked. I think they just were trying to stay away from the let's get every former Bulls thing. But Lonzo's still working his way back. Lonzo ain't playing 35 minutes a game. You could have easily said, hey, we brought in Lonzo, so now bringing in Russell Westbrook when you have Lonzo, because you're not giving Lonzo that Dennis Schroder contract. Bringing in Russell Westbrook when you have Lonzo, I think looks a lot different than trying to bring in Russell Westbrook after your commitment to Dennis Schroder. And that kind of goes to all of those point guards that I thought they could have gone after instead of Schroder. So kind of the same ilk. But I honestly, man, and I'm not even really kidding. I just don't think that they could go after Lonzo after already having even subconsciously. Even if they said it's not about that, it kind of is.
The jokes would have wrote themselves. Like, you know how it's like, fool me once, shame on you, fool me twice, shame on me. By the third time, it's like, you know what you're doing at this point, which Lonzo, to the contract point, so he's at $10 million this year. He has a club option for $10 million next year. So, very easily the Kings could have been like, we'll either decline the option and have the money to do something else, re-sign Keon Ellis, take the option and trade him, take the option and keep him. I guess I would have felt better about if I were of the opinion this is just a stopgap until they inevitably tear it down.
Yeah.
Then I would have felt better about just flipping Valanciunas for Lonzo than flipping Valanciunas for Drew Eubanks and Dennis Schroder.
Yeah, I'm trying to think and 916-339-1140, keep the texts and the calls coming in. I'm trying to think, is there anybody else that if I was Scott Perry, based on my priority list, so I'm talking to DeRozan, I'm obviously, like I said, I might have a conversation with Levine. I don't really know if I need to talk to Domantas Sabonis. If you really wanted to go, I would have heard about it. I don't think I need to talk to Domantas Sabonis. Not now. It's not the first thing on my priority list. I'm talking to, like I said, like you said, I might be signing Keegan before talking to Domantas Sabonis. Keegan is probably number 2. And then I'll talk to Zach LaVine. And when it comes to Keon, hey, we're going to take care of you when we can take care of you, which is, I would definitely assume, a conversation that has already happened.
I mean, it has to have with Keon because they already took the option, which means he's probably going to either get to free agency next year or get to that, I'd say get to the offseason probably without a contract extension. Because I know most of the deals get done before you ever hit free agency now anyways, and you're gauging the market. But I would imagine that he plays out the season on this contract without an extension because, why not? Just unless you're going to have an injury, just see what you're worth, what someone's willing to pay this summer because the Kings offer should be on the table.
Yeah. One thing we haven't really addressed yet is, are you making any calls to other teams? I just don't know at this point. Again, you're waking up literally today. So it's August 27th. I'm just not sure who's playing ball. No pun intended. I don't know who's playing ball. I think everybody is ready to head into camp with what they have. And we'll maybe, lay besides the Warriors and Jonathan Kuminga, but lay the groundwork for some stuff in January or closer to the trade deadline. But I'm just not sure who I would even call, because if I'm making a call personally, I'm not making a call to make the team better. I'm making a call to develop young talent. That's what I'm doing. I'm not making a call to go get our guy from, was it Chris from Wisconsin? Was it Chris? I'm not making Craig. I'm not making a call for Mikal Bridges. I'm not doing that. I'm making a call to move on from players. And I don't think anybody is looking for a DeMar DeRozan right now. Maybe they might be looking for a Domantas Sabonis. So, and that's what Andy Bailey said at Bleacher Report. Hey, you can, I would make some calls and see if anybody is interested in Domantas Sabonis, but I don't know. I'm not optimistic that we'd get something back of value, right? Or the best value right now.
So this is interesting. Again, we're only as good as the offers, but if you're waking up in our not Freaky Friday situation and you're becoming Scott Perry, you're more apt to look for salary dumps than to trade future picks.
Yes.
And
I'm
again,
closer to Terry Rozier than Mikal Bridges.
Are you closer to Terry Rozier than Kuminga? Because you'd have to give up a future first potentially for Kuminga. That's
a good call. We got to run the tankathon and find out.
All right, let's do it.
Do that on the other side. And also on the other side, the A's have some huge games coming to Sacramento. Which ones are you most intrigued by? Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
Sacramento weather is brought to you by Future Ford.
I'm Tamara Berg in the KCRA3 Weather Center. For your Wednesday, we're looking at mostly sunny skies. Temperatures this afternoon, close to what is normal for this time of year as we wrap up the final days of August. Expect daytime highs in the upper 80s to lower 90s. You can get the latest forecast on the KCRA3 News and the KCRA3 app.
It's the final days of Summer Closeout 25 at your Future Ford dealers. Get closeout pricing on F-150, Bronco, Explorer, Mach-E, and more. But don't wait. It all ends Monday at Future Ford Lincoln in the Roseville Auto Mall and Future Ford of Sacramento at I-80 in Madison.
Labor Day, our annual celebration of workers and their achievements, was first observed in New York, and the first Monday in September became a national holiday in 1894. Hi, this is Frank LaRosa with a word about Naturewood Home Furnishings. Each year we commemorate Labor Day with parades, picnics, and family gatherings. And right now, Naturewood Home Furnishings is celebrating with their exceptional whole store Labor Day sale. Would you like to refresh your living room? Would you like to restyle your bedroom? Maybe you want to redesign your home office. No matter whether it's your dining room, kids' rooms, accents, or accessories, Naturewood's unique store-wide Labor Day sale offers savings in every department and savings on every brand like Stanton, Omnia, Stickley, Flex Steel, and all the rest of the award-winning furniture. When it comes right down to it, it's all about choices and always about quality. Visit Naturewood Home Furnishings right now for this remarkable Labor Day sale. Off Highway 50 at Hazel, look for the water wheel. For over 90 years, Hagen Oaks has partnered with the biggest brands in golf to bring cutting-edge technology to your game. Our one-of-a-kind total game fitting offers a level of experience and precision that is unmatched. From driver to putter, footwear to golf balls, our TrackMan-powered performance studios, 3D footwear scanner, and Ping's Ballnamic ball fitting kiosk ensure every piece of your gear is tailored to your swing. Trust the experts at the Hagen Oaks Golf Super Shop. Total game fitting starts here.
Listen to the 49er Rewind daily. Brought to you by Mountain Mike's Pizza, the official pizza of the 49ers. Mountain Mike's Pizza. Pizza, the way it ought to be.
Only one radio program captures the excitement of hunting and fishing as it happens. The award-winning California Sportsman with Sep Hendrickson. Only California Sportsman takes you where the action is. Live on the water, live in the blind, and live with the top pros and experts in outdoor sports. California Sportsman with Fishing Hall of Famer Sep Hendrickson is your premier destination for all things outdoors. Sep's Saturday Morning Outdoors. Ultimate Bass and California Sportsman, 5 a.m. to 8 a.m. Saturdays on Sacktown Sports 1140.
High Voltage Live boxing action returns to the venue on September 6th as Uppercut Promotions presents 6 big fights featuring undefeated fighters. Thunder Showdown September 6th at the venue at Thunder Valley Casino Resort. Tickets at Ticketmaster. Fight cards subject to change.
Labor Day is right around the corner. In Sacramento, Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram want to thank the hardworking folks who keep this country running strong. And they're going to do this by taking the work out of you getting the new or used vehicle you want. They do this by offering the best customer service in the business, having the largest selection in Northern California, and offering the lowest prices on Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and America's truck, the Ram. See for yourself online at sacssuperstore.com why more and more people are making their way to Sacramento Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram.
I'm Ken Korak with your Green and Gold Report, brought to you by Xfinity. Introducing the 5-year price guarantee. One internet price, 5 years guaranteed. Well, perhaps hidden in the attention given to rookies like Nick Kurtz and Jacob Wilson has been the play of outfielder Colby Thomas. Thomas, a third-round pick out of Mercer University, in his first 61 at-bats this year, 4 doubles, 4 home runs, and 13 RBIs.
Welcome to Dugout Radio, the undisputed home of Boomtown Baseball.
The Wi-Fi is booming with Xfinity, baby. Our next caller is
Stacy. How do you stay locked in on every pitch and play?
We stream it all live on Xfinity Internet with low lag, 99.99% network reliability, and speeds faster than a base runner beating the throw to home plate.
I stream on my TV, tablets, even my smart fridge.
Smart fridge?
With all those games, we gotta refuel.
Stream live baseball with Wi-Fi built for the biggest moments. Xfinity. Restrictions apply. Actual speeds vary, not guaranteed.
Get ready for a night out with Jordan Davis. It's Country in the Park 2, Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo. Along with special guests Mitchell Tenpenny, Low Cash, Vincent Mason, and Avery Anna. Make it a family day out with food trucks, games, dancing, and more. Saturday, September 13th at Cal Expo with RVs of Sacramento and the Sled Museum of Science and Curiosity. Tickets at CITPFest.com.
Allen Stiles. Watch the show on youtube.com/Sacktown Sports 1140.
Or listen on the Sacktown Sports app.
$30 more minutes with you, taking you up to 2 p.m. And we have some very, very important games coming up next season for the A's of Sacramento, headed to Vegas, formerly of Oakland. And we kicked off the show hours ago with my annoyance of teams that play well after the season is done. I almost said both Bay Area teams. Both Northern California baseball teams are doing that right now.
Good save.
Yeah. Both Northern California baseball teams. Well, sorry. Are the A's a Northern California baseball team?
Yeah, I mean, for now.
Both teams that play in Northern California are doing this right now. The A's have won 20 of their last 30. Impressive stuff. The only problem is they're in last place. And if the Giants have to go on this crazy stretch, what do the A's, because I know Coach said, Eric Martin's third base coach for the Athletics, we have him on every Tuesday. I know he said they're not mathematically out, but what would they have to do? Because I know the Giants, what they'd have to do is insane. So are they actually mathematically out? And
no, only the Rockies are.
There's no way they can lose 5 more games, the A's.
Well, let's figure it out. Because right now they're 11 games back of the division, which means they are, I will get that exact number right now. They are 9.5 games back of the wild card with 28 to play.
Okay.
So
they're going to need help.
Yeah. So let's say they win. Hey, remember our game that we played, the schedule game last year? Let's bring back the schedule game right now for the A's. So if the A's were to continue the pace that they're at right now, which is win 2 out of every 3 games, which they have done for the past 30 games, they would finish with 81 wins.
Okay. And that's what I was going to tell you. The Detroit Tigers last season, they were the last wild card with 86 wins. And in 2023, the Toronto Blue Jays got in as the last wild card with 89 wins. So it's
basically impossible.
Unless you think, and it depends on how they're trending, because this is what it is in the National League, unless you think 81 gets you in. I don't think 81 gets you in.
In order for 81 to get you in, the Mariners would have to go 10-29. Or sorry, 10-19. 10-19. Not that bad for the rest of the season.
Tampa Bay Rays in 2022 got in with 86. So it's over. And that was the first year of the 3 wild cards.
Alan, I've got fan graphs up here with all the odds for the playoffs right now. The Athletics are listed to make the playoffs at a 0.1% chance.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And with that being said, Kyle, you know what I was just thinking about and double checking when you said that? Do we know if, let's say they did it? Do we know we know where the playoff games are being played in 2026. Did they just not ever say where they would be in 2025?
No, they never had to. Just for reference, so I said the Seattle Mariners would have to go. The Seattle Mariners would have to go 10-19. The Royals would have to go 13-15, and everyone else has to play basically 500 baseball because there's no other teams above 500 in the American League. The American League sucks.
Okay,
so they would need the Mariners to play as bad as the White Sox the rest of the season, the Royals to play as bad as the Twins the rest of the season, and the A's win their current pace of 2 out of every 3 games.
Okay. So, hey, coach is the coach. They're not going to say they are not mathematically out of it, so they're going to behave as such. But we know what it is. All fine, all good. As we and the Giants are in a better spot, but not by much.
If it makes you feel better, the Giants have a 0.4% chance.
You know what's funny when you said that, though? The A's 9 games out of the wild card, you said, right?
9.5.
Giants in a completely different spot than the A's. Everyone's supposed to be feeling good about the Giants. Giants are 7 games out. The A's are only 2.5 games worse than the Giants for the wild card. Now, that's crazy.
Yeah. Well, part of that, too, is that the American League 8 teams just decided not to try this year. Yeah. And the National League is kind of stacked.
But that also puts into perspective how bad the Giants have been. They've been the worst team in baseball since that Devers trade.
Yeah, and they've also locked themselves into big contracts.
All right, Kyle, before we talk about the A's and what we're most intrigued by, let's run that tankathon. It's hot today, baby. I can feel it all.
9.
It did the stupid didn't move thing, and I don't really.
So we're still at 8.
Yeah. But then I ran it again, and they were at 5. Excuse me, at 3.
I'm like, 5 is literally impossible.
They moved up 5. They moved up 5 spots to number 3. Mm-hmm.
So we're kind of alternating right now. It's gone like 8th, 2nd, 8th, 3rd, 8th, 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 4th, 4th, 8th, 9th. You know, we're kind of just flip-flopping right now.
There you go. So that is the tankathon. The Kings aren't getting anybody. Maybe we should do that Mikal Bridges deal at this point.
For the 8 pick?
Yeah, just do it. All right, 916-339-1140. Which 2026 A's game or A's series are you the most intrigued by? Shohei Ohtani and the Dodgers come to Sutter Health Park the 29th, 30th, and July 1st. Giants weekend is May 15th through the 17th. Yankees weekend, May 29th through the 31st. Paul Skeens comes to town for just one time, June 15th through the 17th. 4th of July is against the Marlins and the Red Sox in late July. I mean, obviously, this is the Dodgers. I'll tell you what, and I'm going to just be honest with you, because I'm in Sutter Health Park pretty darn often. And even when I was at the Midtown Market a couple weeks ago, these Dodgers fans, and I know they won the whole thing, but these Dodgers fans, they make me sick. And they're
every
everywhere.
Game.
They're everywhere. It's the River Kitties playing the AAA of the Padres, AAA of the Astros. At least 5 people in Dodgers gear. Every time. It's definitely worse since the World Series, right?
I think it's been worse ever since the first World Series. I think it's the last 3 years, there's just been so many Dodger fans out and about. You see them at the A's games all the time. I see dudes in Freddie Freeman Dodgers jerseys. I'm like, what are we doing?
Are we allowed, because I'm just double checking since I'm in Sacramento now, are we allowed to be salty since Sacramento doesn't have its own baseball team? Obviously, you see that in the Bay Area, and you're thinking, that is crazy. But how mad can you be? It reminds me of when you go to Vegas, you always see a lot of, or even Tahoe, right? You always will see a lot of Laker and Dodger stuff, but they don't have a team up there. And a lot of people are traveling, don't get me wrong, but they also don't have a team. So people are going to gravitate to the big teams like the Dodgers and the Lakers, things like that. So am I allowed, how salty am I allowed to be in Sacramento about all the Dodgers fans? I don't even know.
I mean, people from Los Angeles move everywhere. So I'm not going to say like, oh, you know, these bandwagon. No, there's people from Los Angeles in every city. There's just so many people, they move all over the country. But The Dodger fan specific thing, I think we're just annoyed by it because we're Giants and Padres fans, right? Like, I see people walking around Sacramento in Tatis jerseys sometimes, and I'm like, okay, cool. There happens to be people from San Diego here, but
that's not what's happening here. They're not LA transplants in Sacramento.
You're saying
not a lot of. I don't think majority of them are. I think they got a cousin that lives in LA, and the Dodgers are good right now, and Sacramento doesn't have a team. So yeah, I just became I didn't want to be a Giants fan because everybody was Giants fans. I didn't want to be an A's fan because they stink. So I decided to be a Dodger fan.
I guess maybe once upon a time I knew, but our guy Jay Mars, who used to do the morning show with Dave and Jason, he was a Dodger fan from Sacramento, never lived in Los Angeles. Not to my knowledge, but I think there's probably a handful of them. I'm not going to say they don't exist, but younger people I understand, right? Because if you're going to bandwagon a baseball team, you better bandwagon the Dodgers.
Well, this is coming from you.
No, but I'm saying
Mr. Chiefs.
I have an excuse.
Okay.
But you're making the point of if you're in Sacramento and you don't want to root for either Bay Area team and you can pick any team, pick the Dodgers. The last 15 years have been awesome for the Dodgers. So I understand young people who might be Dodger fans, but like the people you're talking about, I understand why it's kind of annoying.
Whitey Gleason, I was going to say a annoying segue, but I decided not to. Whitey Gleason joins us on the other side to close out the show. Allen Stiles, Sacktown Sports.
This message comes from Viking, committed to exploring the world in comfort. Journey through the heart of Europe on an elegant Viking longship with thoughtful service, destination-focused dining, and cultural enrichment on board and on shore. With small ships that bring travelers closer to the destination, there's more time to explore. And every Viking voyage is all-inclusive, with no children and no casinos. Discover more at Viking.com.
When your reputation's on the line, you don't leave anything to chance, especially your primer. Painters trust Kills primers for a smooth start, strong adhesion, and serious stain-blocking power. And now, the full Kills lineup is available exclusively at the Home Depot. Need it fast? Get same-day or next-day delivery, or order online and pick up in-store. Kills primers. Pro results, faster. The Home Depot. If you're a pro, you know.
If you're 55 or older and into that whole saving money thing, T-Mobile has an exclusive phone and internet bundle just for you. Right now, get 2 unlimited phone lines plus 5G home internet for just $30 each per month with autopay, plus taxes and fees. And with 5G home internet, setup is easy with just 1 cord and no technician needed, which is great if you're also into that whole keeping it simple thing. Switch now and experience the best mobile network in the U.S. Visit your local store to start saving. T-Mobile, it's better over here.
Based on analysis by Ookla of Speed Test Intelligence data Q4 2024 to Q1 2025, Ookla trademarks used under license. Unlimited on our network. Customers on voice plan may notice speeds lower than other customers and further reduction if using more than 50 gigs a month due to data prioritization. Video streams and SD on this plan. Home internet pricing after $20 a monthly bill credit plus $5 per line without autopay. Debit or bank account required. See 5G device coverage and access details at T-Mobile.com.
Carmichael Dave here for my friends at American Energy Heating and Air. Yes, I always tell you they are a family-owned operation, been in business since 81, A-plus Better Business Bureau, but it is hot. We are in those Sacramento hot months. I want to focus on them being your second opinion partner. What does that mean? Maybe you've got somebody you're working with or you've worked with in the past in the HVAC world. Guess what? They want to give you a second opinion. How much does it cost? Nothing. You call them up and say, hey, can I get a second opinion on this deal? They come out and they either say, wow, that's a great deal. You should feel better about that. Or they say, we can beat that price. And usually they're going to beat it by a lot. Guess what? You just saved money and it didn't cost you anything to find out. It's a no-lose situation. Go with a trusted company. American Energy, 916-520-9990. That's 916-520-9990 or AmericanEnergyAir.com. Jingle Singers, take it away.
Call 916-520-9990 now.
With 25 award-winning years in Northern California, Ashton & Price is your local injury law firm. Pro attorney tip: if a firm presents as local but they're in LA, red flag. If your first consultation is not with a lawyer, big red flag. At Ashton & Price, your first consult is with a local attorney, and if serious injury prevents travel, a lawyer will come to you. Still not enough? George Washington's my uncle. At Ashton and Price, no red flags, just red, white, and blue.
Remember, for the best advice, don't think twice. Call Ashton and Price.
Hey everybody, it's Kyle Draper from Mercedes-Benz of Stockton, and let me tell you about the manager-only offers they're running right now. They have low rates on new cars, certified pre-owned vehicles, and of course, their popular e-Sprinter vehicles. Take it from me. I'm driving an all-electric Mercedes-Benz SUV, and I love it. So head on down to Mercedes-Benz of Stockton right now, or go online at mbofstockton.com, because these rates won't last long. And while you're there, tell them Drape sent you.
The Sacramento Rivercats season is almost over. Don't miss your last chance for baseball action, special giveaways, and the unbeatable atmosphere of Sutter Health Park. Get your tickets before it's too late. Grab yours today at rivercats.com.
Allen Stiles
You can join the show by texting 916-339-1140.
on Sacktown Sports.
Whitey Gleason joins us, and Whitey, you wake up this morning and you are now Scott Perry. What's the first thing you do, Whitey Gleason?
It's not Monday, so I don't tweet my my
Monday motivation.
Yeah, Monday motivation. So I don't have to do that.
First thing I do in the morning.
Yeah. First thing I'm doing today, I'm getting Keegan figured out.
Okay, that's what Kyle said.
Yeah.
Now,
yes.
I don't know if that was on purpose or if you just happened to say it in that way. Do you think there is something that is needing to be figured out right now? Because that's what everybody keeps, people coming up to me at Rivercats games. Wait, what's going on? You guys keep saying it's so simple. Then why hasn't it happened? I don't know.
They don't have to do it yet. You know, they're waiting. They don't have to do it yet. The other thing I'd do is I'd call the Warriors, say, we're not interested in Kuminga.
Okay.
Then I'd go get Olivier Maxence Prosper, who the Mavericks are trying to get rid of.
When's the last time you saw this guy play basketball, man?
Oh, he's not very good, but he's young. He's 6'8", and
they
he's
might
got
attach a
some upside.
second.
Yeah, and he's a good defender.
23?
Yes, exactly. The Kings actually drafted him.
No, I knew that.
Yes. And I know people say he's not as good as Kuminga. Okay, all right. I get that. But, you know, I think the Kings are in a situation now where they could maybe afford to take a swing at let's call him a project.
Yeah,
That's what I would do.
Your guy is 11 minutes a game. I mean, they drafted him. He just can't get on the floor.
Really athletic. Not a very good shooter at the NBA level.
Yeah, his age is the same as his three-point percentage. 23.
Not great.
23.
Not great.
Better than Dario Saric.
Okay, who would you rather go after right now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
Olivier.
Am I still Scott Perry or am I me?
Either way.
Okay.
Olivier Maxence Prosper or our guy from the Spurs Jeremy Sohan, that I was grinding film on last week.
I don't like Sohan.
Oh,
and plus he would cost more because he's got a little more cachet.
Oh,
I'm taking the swing at Olivier
but why are we taking that swing?
Because that's where we are right now.
Costs nothing.
It doesn't cost much, and if he ends up being anything, you're like, all right, I got a 6'8" wing who can defend.
Yeah, so this is gonna be our starting lineup. Let me just get this clear.
Not Olivier Maxence.
It's gonna be Olivier Maxence.
I thought you liked
Prosper.
French guys.
I do, but I'm still wounded from Tejan Salon. But it's gonna be Olivier. So Olivier, who is on, second team, play 11 minutes a game. It's going to be Olivier. It's going to be Isaac Jones, undrafted, two-way guy. Keon Ellis, undrafted. Okay, Maxime Reynaud, second rounder, and Nick Clifford. It'll be the all found money team. I probably need to get Nick Clifford out of there. There's probably somebody else more found money on the Kings.
It's amazing that this team has 47 guards, and you managed to put together a starting lineup that only has one guard. That's well done. And no point guards in your roster.
No, I said Keon.
It's not a point guard.
I said Keon and Nick.
Uh-huh.
So that's what we're doing. And they're all going to be. Oh, I forgot Dylan Cardwell.
Right.
He's going to be a hit too.
And then randomly Russell Westbrook.
And then they'll find a way to bring back Isaiah Crawford because he's going to be a hit too.
I don't know if you heard what I said yesterday. I don't know how much you listened, but we were talking about something, Jay and I, and it just kind of hit me. It's like, why do the Kings go after all these players that no one else wants?
Yeah.
You can go back even to, DeMar last year. There was some interest, and I know he's DeMar DeRozan. I get that. No disrespect. But at the time, as we're seeing this offseason, not a lot of demand for his services. Zach LaVine, there was more demand last year for him than there had been because he shot the ball so well. But, with his injuries, with that salary, there had not been a lot of demand for his services, right? Mm-hmm. Jonathan Kuminga, 2 teams have made an offer for him.
And the other one,
the Suns, who
Matt Ishbia is saying, did you see what he said?
I did.
Who cares what they think? They thought we'd be good the last couple of years.
Shows how stupid they are. They thought we were going to be good. And then you got Russ, and apparently no one wants him. Why do the Kings have this pattern of going, no one wants him? Oh, then we can get him.
I mean, it's that person that wants to date the bad boy, right? Or the
is that what it is?
Wow. They've given up. Hey, I can fix him.
His mind's just mush with baby thoughts.
I have to take that into account.
I can fix them.
You
know what I mean?
Maybe.
I know you told me during the break you heard the handshake convo.
I did.
I don't know if I've ever shook your hand.
No, I was trying to think if what happened the first time we met. If we shook hands, probably not.
I'm sure we did.
Because that's the whole thing for me that you didn't mention is as you probably know, I'm Caucasian and I believe you're African American. And sometimes that can be, for me personally, it's like, I don't know if I try to give you, a certain handshake, am I like, hey, I'm cool. But if I typically just go straight on. And then after you get to know somebody, maybe, I don't know. It's a little awkward.
If I meet someone that looks like you, I am not a first time dapper. I will give you a classic handshake.
Yeah, I think that's probably what you did.
I don't first time. And to be fair, it's not just people that look like you. I'm not really a first time dapper, period, unless we've had a heck of a conversation.
I do think post COVID, I think the dap is pretty acceptable. The great Raymond Ritter. I mean, I forget sometimes. I don't see him much anymore when they come into town, but I'd go to shake his hand. He was always dapping.
Oh, sorry. Now we're talking. Okay, so there's 3 different things.
Yeah.
That's pound.
Oh, okay. I thought you were.
There's
talking.
pound, dap, and then handshake.
I apologize. I was using pound for dap.
No, dap is.
I thought you were talking about. Hey, what's good?
Okay, all right.
Yeah. I see Jay. Hey, how you live?
You're right. See, this is why it's so hard for me. I don't even know.
So
the
you
terms.
thought you were gonna pound? You thought you were gonna give me a pound?
He caught himself. He was gonna say it.
You thought you were gonna give me a pound? No, a pound is, hey, I'll see you. Honestly, my pound, that's I'll see you within the next couple days.
Oh, okay.
Even me, I went to Del Sal. I got a lot of friends that look like you, and we dap when we're done with our guys' trip, our golf trip. We dap if that trip is over, or when we see each other.
Right.
But if, hey, I'll see you tomorrow, we'll just pound.
Okay, I understand that.
But yeah, I'm not a first time dapper.
Right.
Anybody.
Okay. Yeah. I don't think
any color.
Right.
Any color. Let me see if
I think that's what works best. But for you, you're wondering about the firmness of your handshake.
Yeah, that's right.
You should have your handshake. This is my handshake.
Most of the time it's
if
firm.
You don't like it, that's on you.
Most of the time it's firmer.
But I wouldn't worry about whose hand you're shaking.
I just don't want them to think, hey, this guy's extra.
Oh, well, that's what you do. That's who I am.
Yeah.
That's a handshake I give you.
Let me see yours.
Deal with it.
Let me see yours.
Like
a spaghetti.
Kidding. I gave you the dead fish as a joke.
All right. Oh, whoa, Whitey. Gosh.
Stronger than your father-in-law?
Whitey. Okay, so you're the guy. 2 daughters.
Yeah.
You're meeting their how firm handshake. Was that it?
With who?
So no, just now that he's
got lost there with the 2 daughters and a handshake.
So now that he's a father, he has to decide what kind of handshaker he wants to be as a dad.
I'm meeting their significant others.
Oh, you don't shake their hand. You just look at them.
Okay.
You stare them down.
Okay.
Maybe you give them a nod. Then you see if they prove themselves.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is not what you did.
It's
Whitey's debating what to say.
I have two sons-in-law. I don't think I actually did that with them.
Right.
But you don't want to. Oh, hey, buddy.
No, I'm not doing that. They're definitely not getting a dap.
Yeah.
They're
you
definitely
get
not
along
getting
with
a
your
dap.
father-in-law, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I got along. My father-in-law is no longer with us. He, I don't think he like rolled out the red carpet. He was very nice, but I got the message, and then we were very close. We became very close.
Yeah, you
That's
get
what it should
older.
be.
Yes, you get older.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gosh. I need some icy hot. I need some Tiger Bomb after that one. Whitey. That's how you do it, Whitey.
Okay.
All right. So it's you and Jay today.
Yes,
Draper
sir.
is on a magic carpet somewhere. Where is he?
I was going to say Thailand, but it's not Thailand. Somewhere like Thailand.
Okay.
Singapore?
Yeah. I think
It might be
it's
different
Singapore.
every day.
Yeah.
The way he was talking with the high flyer, I think it might just be a
At one
different
point, he
spot.
was going to head to Australia. Yeah. So, but I think you're right, Kyle Ledbetter. Singapore, I believe.
All right. Well, Whitey Gleason and Jay Johnson got you for the next 4 hours. Drive Guys taking you up to 6 p.m. Do not move. Thank you to Andy Bailey of Bleacher Report. That is out on YouTube now, so go check that out if you miss it. A lot of great stuff that we are going to break down tomorrow as well from Andy. Great job from Kyle, as always. Thank you all the callers, sexters, sack chatters, and everyone helping me out with my fantasy league and my handshakes. I got to go ice my shoulder. Thanks to Whitey Gleason. Until tomorrow, we think secure the bag, light the beam, and ice the shoulder. Goodbye.
Don't forget my podcast.
Gotta go.
The Carmichael Dave Show with Jason Ross.
Like the blind test test, you do pizza guys, and then you do like Tombstone. What's the one that's like super cheap? I used to use it for burrito wrapping back in.
What are you talking about?
Pizza?